Hello. What's the latest?
Latest and greatest.
71 and sunny right now. It's going to be like 88 today again.
Yeah, I'll take it.
A little humid there yesterday, didn't you think?
It was pretty fun. We broke out the slip and slide. My nephew Ike came over, and then we next leveled it by grabbing the Costco size Dawn dish cleaner, and we poured that all over the slip and slide, and we made it so epic.
So did anybody break a leg or anything because of you?
It's still pending. We'll find out. Well, they'll find out once they go to the doctor. We'll find out if it's broken.
It's a nice touch. Now we got to start the show with something because of Brittany. She's a massive pain in the ass. As you know, she brought something up to me, and now I can't get it off my mind. This is your fault.
Uh-oh, what?
First of all, cheer up, for Christ's sake.
I'm not uncheerful.
Here's like every day I come in and she's like,
I was like, hey, Tom, all this stuff, all nice. And then if I sit and read quietly, you're like, what's the matter with you?
I thought you stopped drinking.
I did.
Why are you hungover every
I
morning?
even brought my own mug today.
Ooh, what does it say? B?
Just
for
B.
Brittany? Mm-hmm. Oh, is that the ones we got?
No, this is just my own mug.
Oh, so you have lots of mugs with your name and initials on.
No, just one.
Two.
Why? What do you mean two?
Well, it's not a mug. The other one's like a water glass or something.
Oh, the one that they gave us?
The one they gave us.
Yeah, that one says Brittany, yeah.
That's pretty damn cool.
I'm pretty important.
It was very, very nice. Now we got to spend some time on talking about werewolves because of Brittany. It's her fault.
I do like this story.
But I think it is important to get to this. But I got to mention one thing before we start talking about werewolves and what you would do if you were the neighbor.
Yeah.
Liz Truss said Monday, now former British Prime Minister Liz Truss is who we're talking about here, former British Prime Minister Liz Truss. Liz Truss said Monday that she didn't find the running joke about a head of lettuce lasting longer than her reign as UK Prime Minister. Now,
You didn't think that was funny?
I would think it'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
You know, God, come on, lady, you were the Prime Minister, for Christ's sake. You're a big shot. What do you care? You're only there for 44 days, so what?
She must have found it a little bit humorous if she brought it up.
Yeah, well, maybe. Unless she's just whiny as hell.
That would be really weird to bring it up, and if you cared a lot about it, because then it's not going to go away.
Well, that's exactly right. But she did use one of my favorite words in the English language.
What did she use?
She said, the Daily Star, a British tabloid, had bought a head of lettuce and begun a live stream making a show of whether it would outlast Truss's tenure, and it did. I don't think it was particularly funny. I think it's puerile. Puerile.
You don't hear puerile very often.
No, you don't. You really. From now on, you will, though.
Well, going forward.
I just walked into Studio A, and it's puerile.
That'll be my only word. I have like a word of the day calendar. That'll be the only word I use today.
That'll be everything. Do you know the exact definition? I love definitions of words.
You love words.
Because they do tend to change.
Yeah.
I'm just going to bring this up very quickly, and just to make sure that it still means the same. Because once in a while, the meanings change of things.
Yeah, I just thought it was childish.
I think that's pretty much true, isn't it?
Or juvenile, maybe.
Juvenile, yep.
Oh, that's the word? Okay.
Yep, they said childish, silly, or juvenile. So it does mean the same thing we thought it meant.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's child. It's kind of, she's got to admit it's kind of funny. That a head of lettuce lasted longer than you did.
I mean, that's why I say a part of me goes, she does think it's funny because she wouldn't have brought it up.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point. I mean, honestly, you're out. What the hell's the difference? Why be crabby about it? You're not coming back to be the prime minister, so let it go, right?
You should be thankful.
Just to have the open door for that 1 minute?
No, just like, you don't want that job. Every job is better than that job. That job seems terrible.
Oh, being the prime minister of any... Oh, God, being the president or prime minister? No, thank you.
No, thank you.
I must agree with you on that one. I would never... Oh, my God, can you... Although, if you're corrupt, you'd be really good at it.
Yeah, but, like, you still... Even corrupt people, they got to work hard. Well, do you know what is nice? Sleep. Sleep is nice.
I just told you, you're still asleep sitting in that chair.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying that, like, everybody wants to do all these work things. Work. I want to whatever.
Here's Brittany. What'd you say?
Do you know what's really nice?
You have my pillow.
My pillow.
Let me put my pillow.
Give me my pillow.
Let me put my head on my pillow.
Oh, if I shut my eyes too long, I'm out.
Why? How late did you stay up last night?
No, Gogo woke up at 1:30.
Well, there you go. So Uncle Tommy, thank you. Uncle Tommy was right.
No, I'm not crabby.
No, not crabby. You're just lazy.
Yes, lazy as all heck.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. a whole different argument is all I have to say to you.
Yeah, this little monster, she's about to start walking here soon, so.
Isn't that wonderful?
It is pretty fun.
Having little kids around actually, to tell you the truth, having a little child around makes me like the human race more.
Yeah, hands down.
Don't you think?
Oh, yeah, well, I have this disease now. I've never been all that, I wouldn't say I walked around being all that cruel or critical, but even the small part about me that wants to be mean to people, I keep thinking, like, they have a mom that love them so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
So much so that they got them to this point. And then I'm like,
All right, now we're going to get to the werewolf in 1 second.
Yes, I actually do like this story. It made me laugh this morning.
You got to go after the where did you find that story, by the way, the werewolf story? Is that Newser?
Nope. I found it on, I can't even remember. I was perusing, and it was one of those headlines.
I was perusing, man. There's a woman, do you remember where she was?
I don't even know. I know it's here in the States. I'm going to find it.
Her neighbors are very pissed off because she has what does that look to be, about an 8-foot werewolf?
It's 9.5 feet.
9.5 foot werewolf.
Yes.
Blown up in her front yard. It's been there since Halloween.
No, not blown up. It's a statue.
Oh, I thought it was a blow-up thing.
No, it's a giant statue.
Oh, and it has a United States... Ohio? Okay.
Yeah.
It has a United States flag for a T-shirt.
Yeah, so it's patriotic. I think she changes the outfits.
Oh, she does?
I assumed so. I thought this was the 4th of July, Luke.
Now, wouldn't you guys, and I'm talking to all the listeners here as well, if your neighbor did that, put a werewolf statue up and put shirts on it, like change the shirts a couple times a week or whatever she does, wouldn't you go out of your way to ignore it so she'd get bored and just eventually take it down?
It would not impact my day. We have so many ugly things that people put in their yards.
Oh, do you really?
I mean, like, it's fine. Like, I don't care. Like, we were just talking about it. It's not like, most things people have in their yards. I'm like, that's beautiful. Yeah. I love that.
Like werewolves or slip and slides filled with Dawn dish soap?
Sure, like those.
You know how greasy
well,
my hair got?
It smells good.
You guys, my hair got so greasy, and I had to go to My Talk. It looked like you could see your reflection in my hair.
Sure.
It was so gross. But, yeah, that werewolf thing would not throw me off. I did find out just now. I just took a look. They've been dressing the werewolf in various costumes to represent seasons and holidays.
Well, of course.
So it's festive. And they're going to get a big Hawaiian shirt and some sunglasses soon. I kind of like it.
But don't you think, like, I can guarantee you where I grew up, okay, not in a particular block or anything, but that whole neighborhood.
Yeah.
If you tried to do that, hey, what happened to that werewolf? I don't know. Just one day it just disappeared. I don't know where your werewolf went.
Turned back into a human and went over to London. I don't know what to tell you.
That's what must have happened. It's a human again.
Yeah.
Wearing a United States flag T-shirt. I think the last thing you want to do to a neighbor like this is pay any attention to them at all.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you agree? Because once you start showing, I don't want that up anymore. Oh, now she's going to bear it down, and she's really going to keep it up there.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
She seems like a really nice Midwestern Ohio lady because her name is Mary Simmons. This is her actually talking about what it would take to bring down the massive werewolf.
He's got a cable that pins him down to the back. And then the platform itself, it has pens in it. It's staked into the ground. So in order to get him out, we have to take all those stakes up and then take all that out. So, I mean, you really have to tossle him to try to get him to fall down.
Yeah, all that work, I mean, got to pull a stake out of the ground.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that is...
See, that's my kind of lady. That's why I don't put up Christmas lights, because they would still be up. Like, I am so lazy about that stuff where I go... we've never even done a Christmas tree like that.
Oh, really? You don't do a Christmas tree?
I mean, I think we'll do one now that Go-Go is a little older next year. But like I'm a little like don't go on the extra stuff. A little lazy.
Well, isn't that great news to have you on the show with us? I'm lazy, Tom. I'd like to point that out.
I do all the necessary things they want me to do.
I don't know about that.
I go above and beyond. I write back our listeners. I love that. But like, I'm putting a werewolf statue. I'd be like her. I'd be like, that thing's in there for 2 years.
Yeah.
Do you think it will just disappear one day? Some like 3 o'clock in the morning, she's going to wake up at about 6 and no more werewolf. Although, how much does it weigh? Does it say?
I don't know. It's 9.5
Yeah.
feet.
Yeah,
She
it's a
bought
big
it from
one.
a hardware store.
Yeah, they sell them at like Menards here in town.
They do?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Statues?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
You can, because we do a giant Halloween display every year, and it was
So fun.
yeah, and I never really got into it until my daughter was about 2 or 3, and then,
Yeah, I could see that.
And then we started going for the gusto, and we made this thing. I mean, it was people would come from miles around to come see that display, and then I built it up with an ex-girlfriend, and when she moved out, she took like 3/4 of it.
Yeah.
And the following year, people were like, "What's up with the display?" And I'm like, "That was so much work. I don't know if I could."
much
Well,
work.
you
Yeah.
wouldn't admit it that she stole it?
I mean, most of it, half of it was hers,
Yeah.
and then she just decided to, dig her paws into the friggin' Tupperware to take out more than her fair share.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm just not going to rebuild it. It's expensive. It's a lot of time. We still have a decent display, but not like what it used to be.
Yeah, and like when you're raising your babies, you do crazy things
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
Oh, yeah.
And I could see Kinley getting a kick out of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then she's like, I'm fine with us not.
Yeah.
Like you grab the one she likes and you make sure you have that one, whatever, the snake or the pumpkin.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, meh.
Oh, that Christmas tree decorating with the kids, though. That's where it's
Phenomenal.
at.
I
It is the
am
best.
excited. I am excited because I remember doing that with my mom. And then I have my Santa Bears, and that is a almost cult-like thing. They're from Dayton's. Do you remember?
Sure.
So
Yep.
we're like 4 or 5 short of having all of them. But that was me and my mom's favorite thing to do. And then I would invite the neighbor girl over, and we've set those up every year. So I can't wait to do that with Go-Go, is put on their outfits, where they're going to go, all that. So yes, I'm very excited about that.
To this day, 34 years later,
Yeah.
well, I suppose it would be 32 years later because she was 2.
Yeah.
Alex still gets on my shoulders to put the star on top of the Christmas tree.
Still?
She still does it.
Oh,
Yep.
my God.
How tall is your tree?
Oh, it's up there. Yeah. Well, not like the one we had in Golden Valley. That thing was about 20 feet tall, for Christ's sake, because we had a big atrium kind of thing.
Yeah.
So we put up this massive Christmas.
Griswold showing up.
I
We're gonna Put
know.
a tree, Clark.
Because Alex
Love it.
Alex is not short.
No, she's 5'5".
Oh,
I guess,
yeah.
something like that. But yeah, she still does. Gets on my shoulders, and I take her over, and now I think. Although I do remember last year, I had to do both Fawn and Sage too.
Yeah, of course.
They had to be part of it
Sure.
too, which is great. I love all these holidays. Like I said, just ignore the wolf, and one day a bunch of thugs from the neighborhood are going to destroy it anyway. So
They won't, and that's fine
will.
too. I'm just saying that, like, you have to get in the mind frame. If you let that bug you, oh my God.
that's what I'm saying. Just ignore it.
Yeah.
'Cause it's going to go away anyway.
I do like the dressing up of the werewolf, though.
Same.
Yeah.
Because when I was in Vegas last week on Tuesday night, the Golden Knights won the NHL Stanley Cup.
Mm-hmm.
So Thursday when I got to Vegas, I was running down the strip on my way to the club, and I'm across the street from Caesars, and they got that giant statue of Caesar out front.
Yeah.
They put a hockey jersey and a hockey stick in his hand, and I was like, I dig that. That's
I love
fun.
that.
Yeah.
I don't know why I love that, but I love the idea of it's Christmas time. He's wearing his little Christmas
Yeah,
outfit.
right?
with a
Little
little-
Santa cap on.
Are there? I suppose there are neighbors you can't put up lights, right? The entire neighborhood we don't do that, and you can't do it either.
I think that's only if you have an HOA.
Yeah, well,
Otherwise,
yeah,
I think
exactly.
it's whatever your city ordinance is, and I'm
Right.
pretty sure that's rare a city ordinance would care if you.
Well, you wouldn't want to be happy,
I wonder if there's any ones that are like super close to the airport that you have to. That seems stupid too.
Like clip off the top of your Christmas tree on the landing.
Like, yeah.
That'd be
Because there's some of
interesting.
those houses that are like right next to the
Yeah.
airport, and you wonder, well, maybe they have to calm down a little bit on the lights.
So I have to ask you a question, because people get very touchy about that kind of stuff. And is it the way you're raised or whatever? Because obviously Christmas is very, very important to me, and I love it and all the rest of it. But I've said this many times. I love the fact they still put a menorah on Highway 100 right there by Minnetonka Boulevard, because
Yeah.
it's been there since I was a kid. I love it. I love seeing it. I watched them light all the lights, all
Yeah.
the rest of it, day by day. Why can people only lock in on one thing? Why can't they enjoy everybody's holiday?
I think most people do. I wouldn't
think you
care.
really?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, like
I hope so.
yeah. I used to love I had a roommate who was Jewish, and she'd always invite me to Shabbat, and I loved it.
Yeah, well, but then you told me that's why you moved.
Right.
No, I'm just...
I moved because of a boyfriend. It was the biggest regret I ever had. I loved living with Amy.
Did I know him?
Yes.
I did?
Yes.
We'll have to do it all.
I think you've met like 3 boyfriends.
Is that right?
I've had a few boyfriends.
Did I like any of them?
You liked Justin when I was dating him. You liked Justin.
I did, yes, that's true. But now
you're over him.
just I'm over.
Yeah, now you don't like any of her boyfriends.
Nah, none of them.
Right.
She's still got all hanging
boyfriends
around.
that I keep bringing into the studio.
Keep bringing
that
them
couch. Don't sit on that couch. In our neighborhood, a big thing is people pay to get their Christmas lights put up.
Yeah. Yep.
And they look really nice, but I mean, I think I know Justin would rather. There's 2 things he'd rather die than do: is pay someone to do our lights or pay somebody to do our lawn.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would choose death over that. Like, he'd have to be full on, cannot move from the neck down before he lets anybody touch our lawn.
I could see that. One of the things I will tell you about Joe Souchere that I've always enjoyed, and it was great being on their show, by the way, a couple of weeks ago. Just really, really nice guys, every damn one of them. But Souchere sent me a picture, I don't know how many years ago. But it was this house it wasn't a picture, it was a video. Mm-hmm. There's this beautiful kind of mansion-y type of house.
Yeah.
And it is top to bottom, side to side. It's Christmas decorations. There are about 50 things on the front lawn.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just, this guy spent forever. Well, his next-door neighbor went and got a bunch of just lights, not Christmas lights, but the ones that light up kind of look like yellowish, those lights. He made a sign with an arrow pointing to his next-door neighbor's house, and in lights it also said, ditto.
See, that's
how great is that? Boy, that was great. Funny. I'm going to call the guy and tell him that you pissed all over his good idea.
I think that's a great idea.
I'm going to call him.
That's like a very much so Rudy idea. Like, Rudy would be like,
go ditto?
Oh, for sure. You are so.
Also, he was ciphering in there.
I would do ditto to the ditto. I'd be like,
ditto
in
to
a
the
smaller.
ditto,
like, there we go. I'll take that guy. Also ditto to that guy, yeah.
I mean, that's good.
But don't you think ditto's funny? I think it's hilarious.
A little amount of work.
I do.
That gets that big, like,
exactly.
Yep. That would be exactly how I'd want to roll.
Love those guys. We got to take a break here. Be right back in a couple of seconds.
Oh my God.
All we do is push forward.
I can't believe it. Holy buckets.
You see, we talk about Christmas and a day just flies by.
Werewolf talk is my kind of talk.
Well, that's very true. There's no getting around it. Ladies and gentlemen, Tom Barnard here. Are you ready for some throttle therapy? Cruise the water in luxury on a brand new Bennington pontoon from the Power Lodge. Enjoy sunsets from the water, entertain the kids, and float on the lakes all summer long. It all starts at the Lodge, Twin Cities' newest Bennington dealer, the Power Lodge, with locations in Brainerd, Onamia, Ramsey, and Miller Marine of St. Cloud. Hundreds of pontoons in stock all across the Power Lodge locations. Your summer fun begins at, here's what I love, Brainerd's newest Bennington dealer. I'm going to Brainerd in a couple of weeks, or about 10 days. I'm excited.
Nice.
It's cool to be excited, isn't it?
It's super exciting.
See, your summer fun begins at Brainerd's newest Bennington dealer, the Power Lodge. You've heard it before. Brittany wants to be a Klingon if we have a new pontoon. It says here Klingon. See,
They wrote in Klingon?
They wrote in Klingon.
All right, fine.
See?
It's not true.
I will tell you the easiest way to have a bunch of old friends come out of the woodwork is to own a pickup truck or a pontoon. That is very true. I became way more popular to friends and family when I owned a pontoon, and who doesn't want to be popular? Enjoy the best days of summer on your favorite lake in a brand new Bennington pontoon from Twin Cities' newest Bennington dealer, the Power Lodge in Ramsey. Miller Marine in St. Cloud is the largest Bennington dealer in the entire world, as a matter of fact. That is a fact. And my friends at the Power Lodge brought Miller into the family. Throttle therapy on land and water, powerlodge.com and millermarine.com. Oh, and tell them Tommy sent you.
Do you ever Google yourself? Are you happy with what you find? Or is it cringy? Are you a business owner or on your company's marketing team? How do you feel when you Google your own place? What do you see? A non-updated social media page you don't even remember making? Ads for your competitors? An old school website with outdated information? Hubbard Interactive can help. They can do it all for your business. They're a Google Premier partner, so they can use search engine optimization to get your click results higher. They can build a 21st century website for you that communicates all the right things, all the best ways. They've got a photo and video department to make your business look sharp, plus social media, influencer marketing, podcasting, and more. All the things that will make you a lot happier next time you Google yourself. Here's a Google search that you'll find rewarding. Hubbard Interactive. You can see all the marketing tools they've used on hundreds of successful businesses, including an extensive gallery of the great work they could help your venture with. HubbardInteractive.com. Building campaigns that connect.
Ready, set, summer. Hi, Judd Zulgad here. You know, the unofficial start of summer, well, it's here. Whether you're heading to the beach, the ballpark, or a barbecue, summer is more fun when you are feeling your best. Let Livia Weight Control Centers help you make the most of our beautiful summer days. Join Livia's doctor-recommended program today and get 8 weeks free. That's right, 8 weeks for free. You could lose up to 15 pounds or more by the 4th of July. I lost 40 pounds on this program a couple of years back, and I'm going to tell you the most important thing. The dietitians and nutritionists at Livia are going to help you maintain weight loss. We've all lost weight, right? Inevitably, it feels like it comes back. Not with this program. It has done right by me, and I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to do right by you. Summertime is here, and Livia wants you to make the most of it. Call 855-GO-LIVEA or visit LiviaLivea.com. Join today and get 8 weeks for free. Again, 15 pounds or more lost by the 4th of July. Are you kidding me? Call 855-GO-LIVEA. Livia voted Minnesota's best weight loss program 2 years in a row. Check them out to lose the weight.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
If you've never been in an auto accident, it's hard to know what to expect from the insurance adjuster. Here are some tips. 1, if they talk to you about whether or not you should hire a lawyer, it's a good sign that you probably should. 2, it's illegal for them to give you any legal advice. They aren't lawyers, and they aren't licensed to practice law. 3, if they tell you that everyone involved in the accident is at fault, they're wrong. This comes from the belief that you're at fault for just being on the road. That's nonsense and not supported by any law. Finally, remember that friendly adjusters are often just gaining information. They want you to do most of the talking so they can file their report. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. I hope you're never injured in a collision. But if you are, don't sign anything until you've talked to us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Something just popped up on my screen, so I was just checking on it. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, it is sunny and 72 degrees, but there's an air quality alert again. What's that? Is there's more forest fires up in Toronto or whatever? Or over in, or down in Toronto? We're above Toronto.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good question. I have no idea. They've been saying that a lot, though, lately. Yeah. Even on days when there isn't much going on, they're like, it's an air quality alert. Make sure to reduce your trips. I was like, nobody's going really anywhere these days. It feels like,
I know.
I don't know about you guys, but traffic feels like it is not what it used to be.
Love it. Love that for us. I also laugh when they're like, avoid going outside. And I'm like, how do I specifically do that? So I really don't change much. Then the last time that they said the air quality was really bad, I was getting my oil changed in my main car. And so I brought the convertible everywhere. And I was like, oh, my throat hurts all day. 2 hour, 2 different shows, just, breathing it in.
You know, Rudy, we're going to have to do a salute to Brittany show. Mm-hmm. And you just come in and talk like this. Oh, my. Do
you want me to have... Tom, you're so funny.
Yeah, that's what I want from you, no question. How about get a little more sleep there, sis? How long was Go-Go awake last night?
Just a little bit, like about 30, 40 minutes.
I do remember going through that. That was a thrill. Let's see, I have to get up at 4 in the morning, and Andy just woke up at 1:30.
I know, yeah. No, it's not so bad. Well. She went back to bed, and that's what's clutch. And sometimes when she's got like those stomach aches or those mystery pains, and you just feel so bad, our solution is always give her a bath. Our solution in our house is if anyone's sick, they take a bath, including Go-Go.
Calms them down.
Yeah, like 1 a.m. There's been times where like I'm giving her a bath, and I like make Justin get up too because I'm so scared I'm gonna fall asleep. Mm-hmm. So then just all 3 of us are sitting in the bath, just kind of like, not in the bath, but in the bathroom.
Sure.
But yeah.
Hey, whatever works.
Whatever works.
That's all we got to say to you, ladies and gentlemen. No question. God, there are a bunch of things that just popped. Something popped up last night, and I've been looking for it all morning, but I can't find it, so they're doing a pretty good job of pulling the story.
What is it?
It's a story about a surgeon out in California who I don't know why he did this, but they have it recorded, but I can't find the recording anymore anyway. He was doing a speech to all his other surgeons.
Yeah.
He was the head guy, apparently, or whatever. And he kept going on and on about how important transgender surgery was. So you have to understand how important this is. It's very, very important that we get this done, and we have to do it right, and blah, blah, blah. And he went on, and he finished with, look, I mean, you got to face it here. We make a lot of money from this.
Oh, I see.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
So you're doing transgender surgeries to make money.
Oh, no.
You're not to make people feel better or make them their real selves or whatever you want to call it. You do it because of all the money you're making. He just went on and on about how much money they make from that surgery. How disgusting is that?
Yeah.
Instead of helping little kids out, let's push them into other things because I make more money if I do that.
Yeah.
And I got nothing against it. You do what you do. You are who you are. I got no problem with that at all. None. But these money-grubbing pig sons of bitches, it's unbelievable. He should be fired for what he said.
Yeah, no, that's terrible.
I'm definitely not getting my transgender surgery from that guy.
Not
I'll tell
out
you
there.
that right now.
That's you horn toot.
I want an altruistic approach.
I need my surgeons to be philanthropists before I whack my wiener off.
But let me ask you a question. Why the hell would you ever say something like that in front of one other human being, not just a bunch of doctors, some of whom are recording you on their cell phone? Why would you say that?
Yeah, that's surprising. That's very surprising.
But it's money, money, money. Everything's about money now.
Money talks.
Money, 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 money. I love that song. Some people got to have it. Yeah, but I cannot find that. I've been looking for that story all morning. I can't find it.
I have a hard time. There's a story that I was reading last night that I want to follow up on, but I have a hard time reading it because it makes my brain sad. Is the submarine that went down. There's a submarine. It was like 4 people.
Yep.
And I think 3 of them were crew members, and then this like millionaire guy who
Billionaire.
There were
2 of them.
To go down you go on these little submarines, and they were exploring the Titanic. And it was how many feet down? Like 12,000 feet down.
It was way down, yeah.
And it's just gone missing. It just went missing. And then last night it was like, they have about 80 hours of air left. And I'm like, so I kind of like casually looked right now, hoping they'd be like, found them, everything's good.
Nope.
Wow.
And I have not seen that. But that's my nightmare.
They're down to like 65 hours now, aren't they? I think is what I heard.
I don't know if I would do that even
No way.
with 100% chance I'm coming out. Because I don't think I do well. I got an MRI like 4 years ago, and I did not react well to it.
Being locked in there.
Oh.
A lot of people are like that. I saw a guy one time, this is many, many years ago, I went to visit a friend of mine, and there was a guy, he's about 6'6", probably weighed about 3 bills, running down the hall with his ass hanging out, of course, because he had the thing on.
Yeah, his booty hanging out.
He apparently was in an MRI and had such a panic attack, he ran away. It's like, holy Christ.
Yeah.
A guy that big running down the hall, like, whoa.
And now imagine that you're in that little MRI with 3 or 4 other people under the sea. Like, dark.
Yeah, they think it might have sunk to the bottom. That's what their speculation is now.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 2 billionaires on board, but I can't remember their names. Nobody I've ever heard of. Maybe you guys might have heard of them.
No, God, no. I saw the name, and his stepson was like, yeah, I haven't heard from him.
I did hear that one, too.
Like,
yeah.
okay.
I don't know where he is.
Yeah.
Why are we not? I mean...
He must have T-Mobile if he's not getting service
Oh,
at
tell me about
12,000
it.
feet under the sea.
Unless
There you
they think
go.
of sponsoring us, in that case, we'll attack another company.
Yeah, or Sprint.
It's interchangeable.
Why don't you guys have a meeting and go through this stuff before the show? How about that?
We definitely know that T-Mobile. Listen, I've been a T-Mobile customer for a long time, and they are fine if you are standing on top of a hill.
Hey, Bernie, you can call T-Mobile and tell them...
Cancel?
Cancel.
Oh, you don't have service? Oh, do you have T-Mobile?
Gee, that's too bad. We just pissed that down our leg, didn't we? That's great.
Whatever.
T-Mobile. You know what? I might call T-Mobile now and go, hey, we just promoted the hell out of you this morning. Cough up.
Yeah, come on. Let's do that. Let's have that approach to our life.
Yes.
Let's promote something
Extort.
and then try to blackmail them after. I think that would be a very interesting business model.
What would the blackmail be?
I don't know. That's what we got to figure out.
Oh, we got to figure that part out. Okay.
Yeah, like I know there's a way to make money here. We're just doing it in a kind of reverse way.
I got to ask you guys a question because, like I said, I don't watch much. When I'm walking in the house, I have the news on. Mostly it's Channel 5. You know, Frankie over on Channel 4. Take care of him, too. But last night, for some reason, and I don't know, I didn't pay much attention to it, the people on CNN and Fox were yelling at everybody they talked to. What is that all about now? What are they so pissed off? That one guy, what's his name? Chuck Grassley, is that his name?
I don't know.
Is that real? That's a real name?
I think it's Chuck Grassley on CNN, or maybe it's MSNBC, or I don't know what the hell one. He was interviewing some guy, and I don't pay attention to who these politicians are. You know, if they're in the state or in federal office, I guess maybe. I don't know. Some people know every damn one of these senators. They know all of them. I have no idea who this guy was. But they literally, it was on the screen, and I literally had to go over and pick up the channel changer. For 5 minutes, all they did is scream at each other. I mean, you're going to interview somebody and scream at them, and they're going to scream at you, and I'm supposed to watch that?
It's weird because I've never met a bad guy named Chuck. Every Chuck I've ever met, good guys, never yells.
So right.
Yeah.
You know what, though? The great thing about that is the balance of the universe. I know a ton of Chucks that are assholes.
Really?
No, I just made that.
I was like, trying to think if we knew any like mutual Chucks. I feel like you're right. Every Chuck I know is pretty lovely.
Yeah. Chuck Grassley. I'll have to look this guy up because I've never heard of him.
Chuck Grassley. I think he's on MSNBC or CNN, one of the two. I don't know, but all he did, both of them, all they did was scream at each other and got nowhere. So I don't understand why you would want to watch something like that. But obviously, well, I shouldn't say obviously it's working, because if it's CNN, it's not working. Apparently, they got more trouble than they've ever had now.
Yeah, I don't know. The highest rated shows nowadays are housewives throwing wine glasses at each other.
That's right, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, it's like a great time to be alive. Oh, you were talking about it as a negative? I was confusing for a second.
There you go. So did you find out, was it Chuck Grassley? Is he at CNN or where is he?
I did not find out. I just saw his face and was terrified. I didn't actually look into what he did.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that you've seen that guy
I'm just
before.
saying I get that he might be pleasant, but when he doesn't want to look pleasant.
That's not Chuck Grassley.
And this guy looks like
Charles Each.
Oh, you know what? I had the wrong name. It's Chuck. It's the guy that is on Emmett. His name is Chuck something.
I was like, this guy's a senator.
Was it Grassley that he was yelling at?
Maybe.
Could have been it.
Grassley looks like a guy that would dig for oil and kill ducks.
Oh, maybe.
In no particular order. Yeah. And the ducks he kills by hand.
Yeah.
So where's he a senator?
This said, well, he was born in Iowa. He is the representative of...
Yeah, Iowa.
Is it Iowa?
Yeah.
Is it Chuck Todd? Is that who I'm thinking of?
Chuck Todd is, yeah. In fact, he may have been on this show once already.
This guy loves Iowa. He went to Iowa. He went to University of Northern Iowa.
Ooh.
Chuck Grassley.
I love how we're always on 3 different subjects at once. It really works.
This guy
well.
couldn't do more Iowa things.
The flow is brilliant.
But to get back to your question, yes, Chuck Todd.
Eventually.
Chuck Todd,
that's
is
who it
the
is.
current moderator of NBC's Meet the Press.
Okay, yeah, that is the guy.
Mm-hmm.
And all he did, and I can't remember maybe it was Chuck Grassley he was interviewing, because it was some guy in the government, and he was an older guy. So I don't know if it was Chuck Grassley or not. I don't know who the hell it is, because I don't pay attention to that. All they did was scream at each other for about 5 minutes and went, I got to turn this off. I mean, they got nothing accomplished.
That's weird, because Chuck Todd seems like such a even-keeled kind of guy.
Well, he wasn't last night, I'll tell you that. Holy Christ.
I guess the only time I ever see him is, because he'll pop into the Today Show every once in a while.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, but all right.
So, but you have to understand something. I can't tolerate any of those people. First of all, the thing that I really hate is they're way too happy on Fox and way too sad on CNN. They all sit around with these dour looks on their face like the world's about to cave in. And then on the other side, over at Fox, if the world caved in, they have a good time with that. It's just all put on bullshit. Do people realize that, do you think? That they're not really delivering the news. They're trying to entertain you and get you to watch, either by agreeing with you or giving you some new ideas. I mean, it's so obviously structured and put on Why do people watch that?
Yeah, they might as well just go out in costume with a mustache on.
Exactly.
And you just put on the
Exactly.
I'd much rather watch Chuck Todd try to do Shakespeare than have him sit and scream at Chuck Grassley all day, whatever that guy's name
Chuck
was.
on Chuck crimes are not approved
Agreed.
on this show.
Chuck on Chuck crime?
Yeah.
Okay. But I got to tell you one thing that Chuck Todd did say. It finally got me to run over and shut it off. He goes, "You have to understand something. As a journalist, I'm always seeking the truth." What a joke that is.
As a non-journalist, I barely look for the truth.
Yeah, barely.
Well, either does Chuck, okay? What a bunch of bullshit that was. But
Shut up, Chuck. Get it?
Yeah.
Up, Chuck.
I agree. Listen,
get
don't ever let the truth stand in the way of a good story. That is my favorite line of all time.
I know.
Yep.
And that's what they do now. And it's all of them. They all do that. I don't think the local news doesn't, pretty much, I think. Is the local news pretty solid, I think, on
I
channel.
think so.
Yeah. Listen, it's the national news and them goddamn entertainment reporters. Those are the two
Those are problematic.
bottom of the barrel, filthiest friggin' reporters you will ever come across.
Who do we know that's an entertainment reporter? Because I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like Kristyn Burtt? Is that who you're talking? People like her?
We would never let her on this show.
No.
As I'm screaming to Rudy, Chuck Todd is unhinged.
Is he really?
Oh, yeah, he is super unhinged.
He's crazy.
Oh, I didn't know
And he
that.
has been for a long time. People do not like him. He's actually leaving Meet the Press and being replaced by Kristen Welkner.
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, I mean, he says he's going behind the scenes at NBC to do documentaries and, cover 2024 in a different, fresh perspective. But people have been screaming for years for NBC to replace him.
He's terrible. And I don't know who the guy was he was interviewing, but he was just as bad. The politician was screaming at him, too. It's like, would you people settle down for... How are we going to get anywhere with reporters like that? Right?
I don't know, and people don't, he's also not very women friendly. He gives
Oh,
women a
really?
harder time than men. Yeah,
Really?
as a reporter. That's why I'm like, he's unhinged. He's not a good judge.
But I have a question for you. Why would you do that? Because more women watch CNN and more men watch Fox. Is that not right?
Chuck Todd, I believe, is NBC, so because he's Meet the Press.
Oh, so he was on Meet the... See, I don't even know. I bounce around with this stuff. I don't even know what the hell channel I'm watching half the time. So he's Meet the Press guy. So he's on an MSNBC.
Plenty of people watch NBC, so it was one of those. I mean, when he was announced that he was retiring, Twitter was like, finally.
Yeah, he was uppity yesterday. But they were both yelling at each other. The guy, whoever the hell he was from the government, he was yelling at him, and then Chuck Todd was yelling back at him. But Chuck Todd took this high and mighty position. I always follow the truth. You lying sack of turd. Jesus.
It's political theater. That's all it is.
It is,
We've
yeah.
got a whole year of community political theater happening. I can't wait.
I know. It's good. Oh, until the election, this is going to be a thrill, isn't it?
It's going to be a long year and a half is what I was thinking about this yesterday. I was like, wow. And, Donald Trump, besides running for president, has a lot of legal issues to sort of sort through.
Yep.
You've got the DeSantises trying to position themselves as the next Camelot. So they're going to be doing a lot of cosplay dressing. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Because, honestly, I don't think it's a bad strategy, to be honest, because you have Joe Biden, who's 80, you have Donald Trump, who's 77, and they're in their 40s. So they're positioning themselves as this young, fresh family coming into the political scene. And I'm not even talking politics. I'm just talking about the image of it itself. And so they're sort of positioning themselves as the conservative Kennedys. New Camelot.
Were you listening, or do you know who it was that was talking last night? And again, I'm looking for the story. It is gone. I don't know who.
With Chuck Todd?
No, the guy, the doctor who was speaking to his surgeons, so they were gathering of surgeons, and he went on and on and on about how important transgender surgery is. Finished it off by saying it's so important because we make a ton of money doing it.
Jeez, that's not.
That's not a good idea, now is it?
The reason to be doing it is to be helping people with their body dysmorphia and their gender dysmorphia.
You would think. All he cared about was the money, though. He loved the money, baby. So, I mean, that's where we are now. We got a bunch of TV reporters and politicians and doctors making tons of money off of this, that, and the other thing. It's it's just all about money. You can't even get away from the fact that I don't care what business you're in, it's about money. No question.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no denying it because everyone's looking to make a buck at every corner. So there you go.
I got to tell you, we happened upon something last night, and unless you were a big Doc Martin fan or Martin Clunes or whatever, we ran across about a 25 or 35 minute closing of the show, and they filmed the last episode. So they went back over the 18 years that it was on television in England. Have you ever seen the show, Doc Martin?
Mm-mm.
It is phenomenal. It is one of the best shows ever on television. Martin Clunes plays a doctor who graduates from I don't know. I shouldn't say he graduates. Maybe he already had a practice, but he's a doctor, a surgeon, by the way, who has an aversion to blood, which is rather interesting because you'd think a surgeon probably shouldn't be frightened by blood. But it was they did a kind of a wrap-up thing, about a half an hour thing to wrap up the thing. It was just very, very well done. If you get a chance, it takes part in a place called Port Wen, Ireland. It's actually Port Isaac is the name of the real town.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. Isn't that a gorgeous town?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Wow, long time running series too. 2004 to 2022.
Yep, 18
Dang.
years.
Man.
18 years. It is phenomenal.
And you said you finished the series?
Over 18 years, yeah.
Dang.
Have you watched continuously over 18
Over
years?
the
Never
18
missed an
years.
episode?
Yep.
Holy buckets.
I mean, it's really, really good. He is incredibly good. His girlfriend, then his wife in it, is tremendous. Everybody in it, every single person in the damn thing is really, really good. They go the ups and downs of living in Port Wen and his being a doctor. And there's a dog that keeps trying to get into his clinic, and he gets pissed off at this little puppy. Give it a whirl. But go back and watch it from the beginning. Don't just hop in on any episode.
The dog's still alive after 18 years?
I don't think it was the same dog necessarily, but...
Great question,
I'm like, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that made Catherine and me very, very happy. You will laugh, there's no question. They're very touching moments, and it takes on everything, every disease. So there's some very sad moments in it, but mostly it's very funny and makes you feel much better knowing that there are people out there that are like that. It's wonderful, isn't it? I mean, these are fake characters, but hopefully portraying parts of human behavior that we enjoy. So give it a whirl if you get a chance, but that wrap-up, you'll have to watch that 18 years from now. So that'll be
What
good.
network is it on? So people can watch it.
I don't even know what it's a British show, ITV maybe.
Yeah, right now you can watch it for free on Pluto TV.
Pluto, there you go.
Pluto, there you go.
There you have it. Yeah, I would say at least give it a couple of episodes because a lot of times, and Kristyn, you pointed this out, first episodes a lot of times are not very good because they're setting everything up. But that show, I think you'll like every character, every part of it. There are father and son battles, there are husband and wife battles. But there are very touching and very sweet moments too. So give it a whirl and get back to me.
All right.
By this time
good.
next year, you have to have each watched one episode.
All right.
That's our homework.
I can commit to that.
June 20th, 2024, I need the report.
I'll write it on my
I
planner.
love that we have a year. I know. I'm going to set an alarm for June 19th, 2024.
Watch 2 episodes and that'll be it.
I'll be like, I got it. I watched it. I did my homework assignment.
A lot of great stuff out there to watch, though. There's a lot of... Well, Martin Clunes, the reason we watched it is because it popped up because we finished watching Manhunt, which stars Martin Clunes as well. It's a 2-year, I think there are like 12 total episodes, something like that. The man's just a great actor. He's fantastic. You know how you run across those, and maybe it's a personal choice, I suppose. I just really like the way he presents himself and the things he does. Is that always a personal choice, you think?
Oh, definitely. Because there's
Yeah.
certain actors I can't stand to watch, and then there are other actors. No matter what they do, I will go and I will watch the series and give it a try. Like that's why I keep on going. Everyone, Jeremy Allen White in The Bear, you've got to go watch it. I made my husband start season 1 last night,
The
so he
Bear.
can start watching season 2 with me on Thursday. So
You're at season 2 already?
season 2 starts Thursday.
God, that thing just seemed like it just came on television about 3 weeks ago.
It was about a year ago.
Was it really? Jesus.
Yeah.
That flew.
Yeah.
That flew by.
I know. It's amazing. Sometimes you think it's going to be the longest year and you're like, I can't even remember what I last watched. And you have to go back and watch the last episode of the season that played before because you're like, what is the storyline? That's sometimes the downside of all of the streaming networks because we wait a long time for that next series to come.
Well, one thing I really, really love about streaming, obviously, is the fact that I watch Catherine and I watch British shows, we watch Irish shows, we watch Canadian shows, American shows. You have everything right there in your hand. It is so wonderful to have all that entertainment just right there for you to watch.
Yeah, it's amazing. And a lot of the streaming networks, I just saw like the Nielsen ratings, like Roku finally made it into the Nielsen ratings, which means more and more people are starting to watch Roku, Pluto, Tubi. Tubi seems to be like the number one out of those three. And it's incredible just to watch because we are seeing broadcast, go down. And I think it's by 2027, only 37% of the households will have cable TV.
Really? That's it?
They will have cut the cord that much.
Yeah, we don't have it anymore. We don't have it.
Yeah, I haven't had it for over a decade.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Yeah, I just, it's so nice to be able to sit down. Do you think it's rather unusual, maybe you guys could all answer this, do you think it's unusual that Catherine and I tend to we have our own shows on the side too, don't get me wrong, but I would say 95% of the shows Catherine and I watch together because we like the same types of entertainment. Is that unusual?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's, because me and Justin have to, usually figure out our shows. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of times we'll watch an episode, something he's like, you can go ahead and go on without me on that one.
That happens, yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's him and I have to figure out, we have to do that, Venn diagram of what do we both want to watch.
Well, he didn't mean it that way. He just didn't want to spend time with you. That's what he was talking. Had nothing to do with the TV show. Yeah.
My husband will want to watch The Mandalorian and a lot of the Marvel stuff that I don't want to watch.
Can't do it.
But he'll watch a lot of my stuff. I got him into Vanderpump Rules when the whole SCANDAVAL happened. And then, because he'd be like, I don't like this. And he'd be side-eyeing it as he's walking out of the room. And then he'd be like, is that Raquel? Is that... So now he got fully into it. So he can be swayed. I can't be swayed.
When I want to convince Justin to watch something, I'll be like, let's go for a run, because he's kind of getting into running, and I've been into running for a long time, and that means I have to talk the whole time. So I wanted him to learn about SCANDAVAL, so I made him go on a 3-mile run with me, and I just told him everything.
Oh, God.
And he was super into it. I may have started with, I just got to tell you about this couple, and I may not have told him it was a TV show at first, so he was super interested. And then I conveyed, mile 3. I was like, it's actually a show. Do you want to watch it? And he's like, fine.
I think every husband got sucked up into that because they ended the season as the #1 cable show of 2023 with over 11 million viewers.
Really?
That is a top cable show. And we're talking scripted and reality, because that became such a pop culture moment, which is unbelievable for them.
Is she out of...
They were averaging last season under 1 million people.
Is she out of Sedona now? Is she walking the streets?
As far as I know, she has not been spotted, and she's still in the mental health facility. Okay. The rumors are that the cameras have gone up because they filmed. James had a See You Next Tuesday DJ event last week, and the cameras were there.
Nice.
At Sir. God. And it's literally See You Next Tuesday, not the other See You Next Tuesday.
Yeah, but they used it for a reason.
Yeah. They used it for, a titillating reason, of course.
Good God. Grow up.
She has not been spotted around any of the cameras. I think this is my guess. This is my prediction. I love to make these predictions. I think that she's going to get out sometime mid-season and make a dramatic mid-season appearance on the show.
I'd love that.
No, this is Vanderpump Rules, you said is the name of it?
Vanderpump Rules, yeah.
All right. That's been on for a while, though, hasn't it? I think.
They just finished the 10th season,
10th
although
season, okay.
If you look at season 8 and 9, barely anybody was watching. Oh. And then because of this real life SCANDAVAL, everybody started either tuning back in or starting from the beginning and watching the show. Like my husband got involved, your husband, it's they by design, they were like, what is this thing that you can't stop talking about? Everybody started watching, and they ended, at 11 million viewers, when last season they averaged 900,000 viewers. It's astonishing.
That is amazing.
Any broadcast show would kill for 11.5 million viewers.
So who figured that out? Is there any indication who they said, hey, if we take it here, we're going to blow up? Does anybody get the credit for that?
the credit goes to Ariana, who discovered her boyfriend's phone after it fell out while he was at a concert. And then TMZ broke the story, and then they brought the cameras back up. Like, the Bravo producers were smart for kind of bringing it, because they were done filming for the season. So they did some additional filming, kind of captured the entire controversy, and people became riveted by this.
It looks like it. We got to take a break here. Be right back, though, because it's not really tied in other than the phone part. When we get back after this break, I want to talk about concert goer who allegedly threw a phone at BB Rexa. Did you see this?
Yeah, it's terrible.
Hit her right in the face.
That looked horrible.
Ow.
Yeah, that looks terrible.
We'll talk about that right after this, ladies and gentlemen. As you know, my friend Mike Lindell has a passion to help everyone get the best sleep of their lives. He didn't stop by simply creating the best pillow. Mike created the Giza Dream bed sheets. They look and feel great, which means an even better night's sleep for me, of course, crucial in my busy schedule. Mike found the world's best cotton. It's called Giza. It's ultra soft and breathable, but extremely durable. Mike's Giza sheets come with a 60-day money-back guarantee, a 10-year warranty. Giza Dream sheets come in a variety of sizes and colors. Mike's latest incredible deal is the sale of the year. For a limited time, you will receive 50% off the Giza Dream bed sheets. You receive a set for as low as $29.98. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio podcast square, and use promo code TOM. There you'll find not only this amazing offer, but also deep discounts on all MyPillow products, including the MyPillow 2.0 mattress topper, MyPillow towel sets, and so much more. Call 800-516-5146, use promo code TOM, or go to MyPillow.com. Make sure you use the promo code TOM. Why should your business bank with North American Banking Company? Here's Corey Wisco of the Welshire.
We're so grateful for their support and just the fact that they truly believe in what we do. They took the time to get to know us. They have faith in what we do, and it's just been a great partnership that's just always been based on success. They've always had our back every step of the way.
For more information about North American Banking Company, go to nabankco.com. That's nabankco.com. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. You need to know a guy for your auto repairs, legal issues, banking, and more. The same goes for investment advice. You need a guy to help you be successful, someone you can trust, who gets results. Well, I got a guy for you. Josh Arnold. Josh gives you straight talk, not sugar-coated advice about your financial situation. Josh has seen it all when it comes to economic and market conditions, and Josh can make sure that your retirement objectives match your investments. Do yourself a favor and call Josh now for a no-obligation, 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll get a different point of view for your investments. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That is 952-925-5608. You'll be glad that you did. And tell him his guy, Tom, sent you.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
There's a guy named Tom Cross who likes to do kite things. Tom takes the phrase, go fly a kite, to an extreme, and for years goes all over the country in search of great kite flying events. Lincoln City, Oregon comes to mind with Chinook winds and 7 miles of pristine beach that draws folks from all over North America for the best kite flying conditions in the world. Tom brings a little Minnesota with him when he goes to Lincoln City in his new 2109S Rockwood Mini Light travel trailer. The new lightweights from Rockwood are very popular. Tom hauls his trailer from Niemeyer Trailer Sales in Albertville and Elko New Market, Minnesota. Niemeyer Trailer Sales is the only place Tom would prepare his next kite flight. Solar panels, exterior griddle, air conditioning are just a few of the standard features in his Rockwood by Forest River, from the place that is your ultimate RV headquarters since 1965. This is Tom Barnard. Visit my friends at Niemeyer Trailer Sales and take your passion on the road. Niemeyer Trailer Sales. Go to NIEMEYERS.com. Niemeyer Trailer Sales. Britt just showed me a picture of the baby, Bobo.
Live sleeping. Yeah.
She got... Britt had to get up last night about 1 o'clock in the morning because Go-Go wasn't about sleeping.
But you know what? At least she's sleeping now, that little monster. She parties with me at 1:30 a.m., but she's just passed out in her crib right now.
So I get here this morning at Kristyn, and I look over at Brittany and went, oh, no, because she got that I got no sleep look on her face. I can't tell you the disaster that happened at London.
You are such a liar.
It's true. She's like,
I heard you grumbling. I listened to the top of the show.
Yeah, baby.
No, I'm saying he came.
And
Right
she
there.
said that she was not grumpy.
I thank you. You heard
Are you
him
kidding me?
grumbling. He comes in and he's like, hi. And I'm like, hi. You know, da, da, da.
No,
and I'm quietly
no,
reading. This is always the problem. Whenever I'm quietly reading, he's like, what's your problem?
No. Here, okay, you, Kristyn, you
She's
be
not
me.
allowed to prep for the show quietly.
No.
Have you ever heard her prep for the show? Don't kid yourself. Okay, I will be her, and you'll be me. This is how she looks. All right, so we're going to show today. What are you going to do on the show today, Tom? That was a conversation? I don't think so.
This is the problem. If I wear, I feel like when I wear makeup.
Oh, it's the makeup.
I look so good. And you guys are like, oh, she's so hot.
Oh,
and
that's what it is.
And then
Okay.
a day like today where I stroll in, sweatshirt mode, they're like, oh, she's so tired.
Aren't you
oh.
wearing any
They do
makeup
that a
today?
lot with makeup. Like, you look so good. And you're like, you don't have to wear
curl.
makeup every day.
I have a question for you, though. It's an important question. Because she looks like she's wearing makeup now, and she's not. So why would you wear makeup?
She's a natural beauty.
Because I could next
don't
level
start
this
this.
face. Oh, the things I
God,
could do with
here
this
we
face.
go.
Yeah.
What's the next level? Your smart ass. How about that? Take that to a new frontier.
My smart
Your
ass.
smart ass comments.
That's the nicest thing you've ever said to me.
Probably true. That and get the hell away from me. Those are the two things that I really enjoyed. In any case, what the hell was this BB Rexa thing? Hit her right in the face. Ow.
Right in the face. And the dummy threw his cell phone, so they figured out who it was.
Oh, I thought it was a woman.
No, it was a guy.
Oh, it was a guy that did it.
It was a
Oh,
guy.
okay.
And he was arrested.
Good.
For assault.
Glad to hear. So
They
did he give a reason why he did it?
When I saw it was on, and maybe this was early on, is he thought it would be funny.
To hit
And
somebody
he
in
was
the face.
bragging about it from according to the crowd that was around him.
Yeah.
That he hit her in the face.
Yeah.
I mean, he literally just missed taking her eye out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she had 3 stitches. She has a black eye. And this is not an uncommon situation at concerts.
God.
They are being pelted with objects constantly. And I don't know if this is like weird human behavior post-pandemic, but it seems to be happening more and more. And you will see a lot of artists talk about this. They're like, why am I being pelted with objects coming from the audience?
I think we should get back to the old days where there were roaming tough guys who just beat the piss out of people who did things like that. Let's get back to fighting. Right?
Quote, his name is Nicholas Malvagna, and he said, I was trying to see if I could hit her with the phone at the end of the show because it would be funny.
How is that funny?
Why would you admit that?
Yeah, and why would you admit that?
That's what I said too. I was like, is this quote real?
If anything, just be like, my phone dropped out of my pocket and some crazy lady behind me chucked my phone at her.
I was cheering so hard. And I
Yeah.
was into the music.
Flew out of my
But your
hand.
lawyer is going to be like, shut up.
Yes.
Shut up.
I just don't understand why you would want to do something like that. Look, I got the same phone that he threw at her, this Apple phone.
Yeah.
Do you know how hard the edges are of this damn
I
phone?
don't want to throw my $1,200 phone.
Yeah.
I don't know
Wait.
about you.
We'll see if it.
Just peg Brittany with my
How many
phone.
days would I get off? If I promised not to sue you, how many days do you think that you'd let me be like?
If
just
I hit you
chilling
in the
out?
face
Yeah.
with a phone?
Yep.
Well,
Rest
you'd have
of the
to-
week?
You'd have to be off the show as long as I'm still in jail
Yeah.
for doing it, but you know.
I wouldn't charge you.
I bet you heal like Wolverine. It just you get a
seal right up.
laceration, you seal right up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Probably true.
Probably true.
It looks like she had a plastic surgeon stitch up her stitches because they were tiny,
Yeah.
tiny.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you'll be
She's
okay. 'Cause
mad.
I had a big gash through my eyebrow and I had a plastic surgeon stitch it up, and
God.
you're good.
Yeah, she's
Did-
got a black eye, man.
Did she almost fall down after it hit her? It looked like she stumbled backward.
I know, I would.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
think the fourth because
Yeah.
she wasn't expecting it,
Yeah.
you know,
Sure.
Yep.
and it probably blindsided her.
Are we going to have to put them all behind cages now?
Chicken wire, Blues
Chicken
Brothers
wire,
style.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, we're going to have to
Yeah,
probably.
when you're all behind chicken wire watching your favorite concert, like
Explain to me how your brain gets to a point where you think that's funny.
Yeah.
What?
You're not mentally well. Let's just put it that way.
No. One of my good friends, Adam Ray, who played Wolverine at Universal Studios, there's video of this online. He is at a show, and he tells the story about playing Wolverine at Universal Studios, and then 10 minutes later, this drunk lady starts screaming at him about whatever. You can't joke about Joe Biden or whatever. And he's like, lady, calm down, just relax. He's on stage, and out of the corner of his eye, he sees a beer bottle
God.
coming at his face. Ooh. And with his left hand, he goes up and he reaches up and he catches the beer bottle.
Ooh, I like it.
And he slams it on the table and went, I told you, bitch, don't F with Wolverine. Place went bananas. It's like one of the best videos you will ever see.
Fantastic.
Oh, it's
you
so
have
good.
to send that to us.
I'll look it up and send it. Oh, it's breathtaking when you watch it.
People are so insane. This is back at my promotional KQ days, and we were at an event with Nordy, the mascot for the Wild. It was like we were at a phone store, and Nordy was there, and we were there. And this drunk guy was like teasing around with Nordy, and I was like, why are you drunk in the middle of the day at this phone place? But I digress. He punched Nordy in the face.
What?
Yeah. And he had to leave. It was, and then the phone people were like, we have it on security. We kept replaying it. This guy full on punched Nordy in the face like there wasn't a human. Spoiler alert, kids, in that costume. Like, what is going on?
Why did
People
he punch
lost
him
their
in the
minds.
face? Why did he punch him in the face?
Because I think they were like, joking around, like he maybe bumped into him or whatever. They were like playing some sort. You know how people and mascots always kind of like, like silly miming things. And this guy was like, boom, punches him in the face. He has to go home.
Jesus.
I know.
Why do you think, okay, how many times a day do you have to hear that somebody's been shot and killed somewhere in America? I mean, by the 2s, 3s, 10s, whatever it is. It's several times a day now. Don't you think it's time for our leadership, and I'm talking about on all sides, to step up and say, this needs to stop right now and stop pissing all over law enforcement? Look, there are bad cops like everything else. There's no doubt about it. But you're pissing all over. What you're doing is driving more violence by doing what you're doing. Why would you want to do that? Never been around a criminal? Most criminals are incredibly stupid. First of all, you've got to understand that. These people that commit these serious crimes, most of them are unbelievably dumb. And all you got to do is give them a suggestion and they'll follow right through on it. Ever been around a big-time criminal? They all think they're really smart and they're dumber than the son of a bitch. It's unbelievable. So what are we going to do about this? How many people were killed yesterday? I don't even know, but I bet you it was at least around 12, 10 to 12. It's every day now. This guy in this city, that guy in that city, they got shot, these people got shot. How much longer are we going to put up with this, right?
Yeah, speaking of dumb criminals, I just watched the Tanya Harding movie the other day with Margot Robbie. I'm spacing on the
God.
That's a good movie.
And those two dum-dums, after they hit Nancy Kerrigan in the knee and then the guy tried to headbutt his way through the window because the door was locked, man, that's a special kind of special.
Yeah.
Am I right about the stupidity?
It's really fun to watch too. I mean, Tanya had the Hollywood version of it, but when that movie came out, a lot of the documentaries that had come out in the 90s resurfaced, and watching that back, I was like, what a time that was. And because that was playing out in real time, moving toward the Olympics. And it was, nobody knew what to do. Nobody knew how to handle it. Nobody knew if Tanya should be in or out of the Olympics. And it was really the start of tabloid journalism in terms of taking like broadcast news and taking a sports story that was sort of an entertainment story and like it all mashing up at once. It was crazy. That and the OJ story, I swear, were the ones that just sort of like changed the face of news forever.
God, how was OJ still alive, for Christ? Isn't he like in his mid-80s or some crap?
I don't think he's that old.
Oh, he's not?
70s? I think he's in his 70s. I mean, he looks okay. Like, he looks healthy.
Yeah.
But he's nuts.
And he is a force on Twitter.
Oh, is he?
People
I hate to
love
say
him
it,
on
he
Twitter.
Is funny.
He murdered people.
Yeah, but, you
How?
know.
Explain this to me. He's a murderer. Why would you follow him?
I know, but so did Ray Lewis, and they still let him tackle quarterbacks, for the next 7 years.
And once again, should have been electrocuted.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jeez, what is wrong? I want to follow somebody who's a murderer.
I don't follow him, but he gets retweeted a lot.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Occasionally, he will have some funny quips, and I'm like, but that was what OJ was all about. People loved him. He was congenial. He was funny.
They did, yeah, back in the day.
He got along with I mean this in a general sense, not the murderer part, but I was like, he got along with everybody. So people were like, yeah, OJ's great. So then when he did murder his wife and Ron Goldman, people were like, nah, it's not him. Of course it's him.
Yeah.
The DNA proves it was him.
Well, plus the fact, unless you're somehow involved, you're not going to cut their head off. That's a little far to go if you're just killing them.
I hope that his family donates his brain when he passes away for CTE research, because I promise you he has CTE from his years in football, the domestic violence history. There was drug abuse in his history as well. It's one of those things. I'm like, a lot of it is associated with CTE and concussions.
Years ago, and I mean years ago, he did an interview. This is before all that happened. People were talking about this. He was a huge star. There's no question. He's one of the greatest running backs of all time. Matter of fact, I know a guy who was a bouncer at a restaurant, a bar in Buffalo, New York, said, and this guy's a huge guy, right? He said OJ's one of the nicest people he's ever met. He's just a great guy. So it depends on apparently what time of the day it is, I guess. But.
Well, behind closed doors, he was something else. So that's it. And I think it's one of those situations I'm like, two things can be true at the same time. And you just experienced one of those two things.
Sure.
You were lucky enough not to see the dark side of O.J. Simpson, which unfortunately Nicole Brown Simpson saw far too often. And people wouldn't believe her because guess what? She's married to OJ and the cops are like,
Yeah.
He's like, oh, cops, don't worry. It's just a little marital spat. No worries.
Right.
Have you ever heard the audio of, I don't remember who it was that called Nicole Brown Simpson's dad to tell her that she was dead?
Oh, God, no.
There's the audio of it. And while he's on the phone, her sister walks in and he tells her, and the first thing she says is, I knew he was going to kill her. I told you guys he was good. She had no idea what had happened. All Dad said was Nicole is dead, and the first words out of her mouth were OJ did it.
I like that.
We just read the article yesterday about how you tell your sister everything. I mean, like women tell their sister and their friends everything, and everyone close to Nicole was like, we all knew that was going to happen because of what
that was Denise Brown. Denise Brown for years. Denise Brown, and people still wouldn't believe her. It didn't matter what the evidence was or anything else like that. The Goldmans have been on OJ's case. They try and get every last dollar out of him, and they deserve it after that civil case. I mean, I think they got $30 million, and they've seen pennies.
Isn't that just so sad? This guy had it made. He had everything. I mean, he's a horseshit actor, but he kept getting acting parts all the time because he was OJ.
Yeah.
Lived in a beautiful Brentwood, part of Brentwood in California. He had beautiful wife, great kid. This is one of those guys, again, too stupid to understand how well he was doing.
Sure.
Isn't that sad?
Yeah.
It's such a sad tale. I still think about it. And if you ever listen to Kimberly Goldman, which is Ron Goldman's sister, the grief that family still goes through, like it's one of those things. They just wear it. They've lived it every single day. And to see him out there, I mean, here we are joking about, oh, he's funny on Twitter, but that's offensive to them. And completely, I understand that too. But they're like, why is he out here like just tweeting when we lost our brother? We lost all that time with him. We lost, we never saw his kids or who he was going to marry or anything like that. They think about that every single day.
They do. And again, I understand completely because we will not face the fact that there are so many millions of people who are incredibly stupid. And they do things that you just can't even believe. Like OJ, you think anybody who thought things through would ever have done something like that? No. Had to beat the piss out of his wife on a weekly basis?
Yeah.
The guy's an imbecile. I mean, it's just good. He was a good football player. Oh, boy, he can run with a football. Good for you.
But let's think about this. The NFL probably has a hand in all of this, too.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah. And he's not the only football player with the domestic violence issues. I just think that all of that is interconnected. The concussions, the CTE. Sometimes the NFL just brushes some of these stories aside. They've tried to get better over the years, but they haven't always.
Well, it's also people that have been rewarded. I mean, it attracts a certain person, right? Like rewarded for masculinity, and like we deal with the same thing in the military as.
I bet. Yeah.
There's these guys that will be like, just praise that they can go in there, compartmentalize, and do the things they need to do, and then so of course those numbers are going to coincide that domestic assault with an aggressive field.
Isn't that amazing? I mean, I grew up raised by my mother and my sisters. I had 2 older sisters, and my dad was gone, so my sisters raised me. I would never think of laying a hand on a woman. But then again, I married Catherine. So not only would I have to get past Catherine killing me, but she's got 3 brothers who are between, I'd say 6'3" and 6'6". So I think if I ever even thought of, pushing her down, I might get my ass kicked. I'm just here to tell you. There should be guards in every family. So Nicole Brown's family, did they know this stuff was going? They had to know this was going on, didn't they?
They did. They knew it on a certain level. I don't think that they realized how much. I think Denise was probably the one who knew the most. And it was complicated too, because there were times when the Browns were afforded a nicer lifestyle because of OJ. He was buying them things or taking them fancy trips. And, that becomes very complicated. And you see this time and time again when someone's being abused and the family's being courted with money and power and fame. And
even without all that, it's so crazy if you look at the stats, and we have a lot of great facilities here, but I can't remember how many times it takes where I used to volunteer at a place where they would say, I think it's like at least 5 or 6 times that they'll leave before they leave for good. And so there's that boomerang effect, even without the huge ties that OJ has, leaving somebody that you live with and have built a home with. And obviously there's that positive emotions that go with that relationship as well. It's so complex.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be like 7 major events, I think.
Yeah, I think it's something along those lines of and that's even with kids involved, and then trying to get those kids and then find permanent housing after, especially if they're the ones that are the financial, leaders. And it's so complex.
Nicole had the funds. Like a lot of women don't have the financial means to just pick up and leave too. So if Nicole can't do it, just understand how much even more difficult it is for someone else with less financial means.
It's so sad that went on for so long, and they knew it was going on, and nobody did anything about it. Isn't that sad?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's not for trying. I mean, oftentimes Nicole did call the police, but they did not help. LAPD did not help her.
Does she have a brother?
She had a sister. I don't know if she had a brother.
I don't think she did.
I don't think she did either.
Because I know this guy, he might be wearing a white baseball cap. You touch my sister, you better start running, pal. I'm here to tell you. I don't understand how this stuff keeps happening. Because there's got to be a dad, a cousin, a brother. Don't be touching anybody related to me, right?
No, it just makes you realize how challenging it is for domestic violence victims to come forward, to get help, to stay safe after they do get help. That sometimes people chase them down, and a restraining order won't stop someone.
I will tell you, and I'm very serious about this. I was just thinking about this while you guys were talking. I cannot name one friend of mine who's ever touched his wife, because I wouldn't be around people like that.
That you know of.
I was just looking at
know. But you'd know.
No, you wouldn't.
Yes, you would.
No, you wouldn't.
No, you wouldn't.
How did I know about all my neighbors I knew was happening?
No, I'm just saying, no, you wouldn't know. I mean, first off, abuse comes in so many forms, and it's so across the board. And like
you abuse your position here, that kind of abuse. Is that what you're talking about?
But mental and
I understand that part, but the physical part of it.
And it also, if women don't want you to know something, some of the best actresses, I know that you know somebody. I'll say that.
That's been slugging it out. Mm-hmm. How well do I know them?
I don't know. I don't want to go into detail.
You better not tell me. I don't put up with that bullshit with hitting kids and women. Oh, God, I hate that.
Yeah.
And my dad, I never saw my dad hit my mother. He was a prick, but he didn't do that. Maybe he did. Maybe I just never saw it.
Yeah, and your mom's the type that she wouldn't let you know.
My mom would whoop his ass anyway. Yeah. So that'd have been good.
That's true.
Toots could be whooping Bob's ass. It'd have been wonderful.
But you never know what goes behind closed doors.
I suppose you're right.
I just went and watched a one-woman show. My friend wrote and starred in it this weekend, and it was like all about like the demise of her marriage and how he was having an affair on her. And a lot of us didn't know it was going on because she didn't tell anyone because she was embarrassed. Mm-hmm. So, and that's just like one level of like abuse. You know what I mean? If you sit there and think of like how much worse it could get, just a lot of people don't talk about it.
See, and it's not like some big hero or something, but I cannot watch it. I have many times stopped a guy from abusing a woman, not physically necessarily, but screaming at him and pushing him up again. I will not stand by and watch a guy do that. I will not.
Not to make light of it, but it was wild growing up when I would go to friends' houses and they would be like, "Oh man, my parents are fighting right now,"
God.
And I'm like, "Oh well, what's going on?" Well, my dad made toast this morning and there was some crumbs on the counter, and then my mom was like, "Hey Dale, next time can you please just make sure you get all the crumbs picked up?" And he's like, "Yeah," and she's like, "We've talked about this." He's like, "Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I'll do it again." I was like, "That's how your parents fight?"
That's it?
He's like, "Yeah, it's awful." I'm like, "Dude, we are hanging pictures 2 feet off the ground to cover up the holes in the wall that my stepdad left. Your parents are not fighting. That's normal everyday life. This is nothing. What are you talking about?"
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
People have never experienced something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't come from yelly people, so when I'm around people yelling, I get super sensitive to it.
Get off my show right now.
I know. Don't yell at me.
Yeah.
I suppose there's. I just don't understand how anybody could. First of all, whether it's a woman, a guy, whatever, how you can beat the hell out of somebody who can't fight back. I have never understood how you could even do something like that. You got to be able to fight back, right?
Well, the thing about guys who do that, they don't fight people that can beat them up.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
no, you're right.
It's a coward's way out. Yeah.
It's true. Well, I feel like I've been gut punched by Kristyn today. That's all I have to say.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she made a fist. She's going after me, man.
Watch out.
God. See, that stuff, honestly, now, be very serious. That stuff, even talking about that stuff makes me sad as hell.
Yeah, same.
People being beaten up who cannot fight back. God, that bothers me.
Yeah.
It's sad.
It's sad. I've volunteered at a bunch of places with my dogs, with the kids in the situation, and it's so sad.
It's true. No question about it. So look at how well we all turned out. Huh?
Yeah, right.
Yeah?
What do you think?
There's that.
Although your dad stayed with you, Kristyn, didn't he?
My dad is, my parents divorced when I was an adult, so.
Yeah, but I mean, you still talked to him, and did he ever sock you right in the mouth?
No.
Good to hear. See, that's good to hear.
You gotta remember though, I was the kid that followed every rule. I never got grounded. I never got a detention.
Good. See, that's wonderful to hear.
Like I was literally, you have to be here at 5 o'clock. I'd be like, okay, 4:59. I am there and ready to go.
Kristyn, we will talk to you later today on the Family Show.
Absolutely, and Britt, we got to talk Pixar tomorrow. We can't forget.
Oh yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, I want to hear about Elemental.
Yes.
Elemental. Okay, we'll talk about that tomorrow.
I'll see you later.
Thanks very much. We'll take a break. Be right back. Chris Egert will join us right after this.
This is the Tom Barnard Morning Show.
I've been telling you for a couple of months now how happy I am with the mnfatloss.com program. Really has been easy and effective. I've lost 27 pounds. It just really hadn't been that hard either. I eat great food. I don't feel hungry. I have plenty of energy and enjoy this fantastic spring weather we're having. And I'm going into summer looking and feeling great. Right now, mnfatloss.com is offering an exciting summer special, $200 off now through July 30th. But really, don't wait until the whole summer goes by to get this program started. Go to mnfatloss.com for details on this special offer. If you want to find out the secret to losing 20 to 30 pounds in just 8 weeks, just like I'm doing, and save $200 on the program, schedule your free consultation, save $200, go to mnfatloss.com. That's mnfatloss.com. Of course, results may vary, and always be sure to tell the team at mnfatloss.com that Tom Barnard sent you.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
If you've never been in an auto accident, it's hard to know what to expect from the insurance adjuster. Here are some tips. 1, if they talk to you about whether or not you should hire a lawyer, it's a good sign that you probably should. 2, it's illegal for them to give you any legal advice. They aren't lawyers, and they aren't licensed to practice law. 3, if they tell you that everyone involved in the accident is at fault, they're wrong. This comes from the belief that you're at fault for just being on the road. That's nonsense and not supported by any law. Finally, remember that friendly adjusters are often just gaining information. They want you to do most of the talking so they can file their report. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. I hope you're never injured in a collision. But if you are, don't sign anything until you've talked to us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
As you know, my friend Mike Lindell has a passion to help everyone get the best sleep of your life. He didn't stop by simply creating the best pillow. Mike created the Giza Dream bed sheets. They look and feel great, which means an even better night's sleep for me, which is crucial for my busy schedule. Mike found the world's best cotton called Giza. It's ultra soft and breathable, but extremely durable. Mike's Giza sheets come with a 60-day money-back guarantee and a 10-year warranty. Giza Dream Sheets come in a variety of sizes and colors. Mike's latest incredible deal is the sale of the year. For a limited time, you will receive 50% off the Giza Dream Sheets. You'll receive a set for as low as $29.98. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio podcast square, and use promo code TOM. There you'll find not only this amazing offer, but also deep discounts on all MyPillow products, including the MyPillow 2.0 mattress topper, MyPillow towel sets, and so much more. Go to MyPillow.com. Make sure you use the promo code TOM. Ladies and gentlemen, 8:23 now, 23 minutes after 8 o'clock. Chris Egert, news brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh for your free 48-minute financial evaluation. Josh Arnold bringing you Chris Egert. Oh, I'm all dressed up today, Tom.
Ooh, fancy Egert.
Wow,
so I'm in the Ramsey. I'm in the Ramsey House, right, kind of by Tom Reed's off of West 7th Street, downtown St. Paul.
Love that place.
And they opened it up for us today. We're doing like a Mansions episode, Mansions in Minnesota.
Oh, you are?
This place is so cool. So I wore a tie because I didn't really know what to wear to a Victorian mansion.
Yeah.
I don't know. What's the right attire?
Great question.
No, that's probably right. You got it nailed. I think you combed your hair and everything.
Like a powdered wig? Or
powdered wig
really
would be good. Powdered wig. St. Paul did a great job, much better job than Minneapolis, at keeping retaining those beautiful structures like that, particularly along down there by, where the hell would it even be? Just before you get down, right behind the cathedral. All those houses, and the businesses and all those buildings, they didn't tear them all down like Minneapolis did.
Yeah, what is that called? It's not quite Lower Town.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think
that's Summit. Is that Summit Hill?
There's some, because Summit Avenue's over there. But then I do have a friend of mine who lives in one of those giant mansions on the edge of that hill.
Oh, okay.
That look over St. Paul, and man, when you walk in, it is. I brought my daughter once just because my daughter is infatuated with big homes. Loves them, like for whatever reason. But I took her to it, and she was like, "People live here?" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "You could fit like 4 of our houses in here." I was like, "Well, actually, sweetie, if you do the math, you could fit 7 of our houses in here."
Yeah, well, there is that.
I'm going to teach you about square footage today.
Is that Selby Avenue?
That might be Selby Avenue. Yeah,
it is Selby. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful area, and I'm so happy they didn't tear all those buildings, because it's particularly at night driving through there with all those old buildings all lit up and all, just gorgeous, beautiful.
So this is kind of down closer to the hospital, sort of right, I don't know, kind of just south of where the X is a couple blocks. Like I've tried to park back here 800 times before for, going to hockey or something. And I've always driven by here, but I never, it's one of the, I'm always like, oh, what a cool neighborhood. But man, to be inside this place, I'm like, I don't know, I'm in one of the like dining rooms, and there are many. And it's got like 14,000 different Victorian era artifacts in it. So I'm like trying not to sit on anything or bust anything or break anything.
It's a good call. Yeah. Now, who built the house? Do you know?
It's the Ramsey House. So
it is. So Ramsey did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got a county named after him. I don't know if you know that or not.
I do. What was he? The territorial governor?
Yeah, something like that. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, quite the place. And then it stayed in the family, I think, till like the mid '60s or something.
Oh, really?
So
That's pretty cool.
Is it hot in there?
It's not hot, but it smells like like what you would expect.
Yeah. It just feels like since the weather's very, I don't know, like it would feel thick in there.
I think maybe they've got some kind of air circulation system going on in here because it doesn't feel thick. It actually feels like there might be air conditioning. Obviously, there's not like there was air conditioning when they they built it.
They were before their time.
Yeah, they're very, very ahead of the thing. There's also electricity in here, which was added after the fact too. But so if you guys see like a ghost walking behind me or something, like that would be the least surprising thing.
Do you want us to tell you, or do you want us to not tell you and message you about it later?
I'd prefer not to know, actually.
Yeah. Okay.
Is that a buffet behind you? What's on that table?
That's just like a little kitchen or like a dining room table setup. But this clearly isn't like the real dining room.
No, right.
It's like a place setting for 4 people. So,
can you imagine living in those days?
No,
it's amazing.
No, it's insane. And then I'm like back over here. What you can't see is sort of the back entrance into the kitchen, and it's really cool.
It looks beautiful. Like I said, I love that neighborhood. Just everything about it. A lot of great restaurants over there, obviously, and. See that we are so lucky, and I don't hear a lot of people talking about this, but to live in St. Paul and Minneapolis, 2 completely different cities. I just love it. I love them both. I really do. Just fantastic.
I think it's very true, and a lot of people, they maybe don't make the effort to. Whenever we have anybody in town, we're always like, let's go to the James J. Hill House. Let's go here. Let's go there. Like I love showing off the neighborhoods, and it's cool.
Now they're redoing the governor's mansion right now, right?
Yes,
he's not.
Which is a whole big controversy because he was gonna. I think they were gonna rent a place down by like Sunfish Lake. You know what I'm talking about, Mendota Heights.
Yep.
And that was going to be like a really, really, really expensive rental, and people were not happy with that. So then they decided to put him in the house of whoever would be in charge of the University of Minnesota. Why does that name it? The president. So they decided to put him in the president's house at University of Minnesota, but they're looking for a new president. So whenever that person comes, I don't know how that's going to work. But
I understand that. So Walls is really good at spending other people's money, isn't he?
I mean, people. They weren't going to let that one happen. Like that turned into quite a controversy because it was a lot of money that they were talking about spending for a different.
Not only that, remember he wanted to rent that house.
That's what he's talking about.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Like so, not only the renovation itself, but that was such a weird moment.
But wasn't it like 70 G's a month or something?
Yes,
it was like a lot of money.
I don't think it was quite that much, but it was a pretty substantial amount. So that's kind of why.
Here's what I like. Okay, so you're going to rent a house for, let's say, 50 G's a month, and then you're going to go on from there and spend $19 billion of our money instead of giving it back to us at $6,000 per household. And then you're doing this, and then you're going to raise our income tax level to, 12% now? Does this guy have any heart or soul at all? Boy, he loves pissing away other people's money, doesn't he?
There was a lot of money that was spent during the legislative session this year.
I mean, unbelievable amounts.
A lot of our money and a lot of the surplus money. That's for sure.
And it was no excuse for doing it. It just made him look good. I hate politicians. Let me just say that right out in the open. I don't care, Democrat, Republican. There are a couple I like, but not many. Most of them are just greedy, money-grubbing pigs.
I think the namesake of the house that I'm sitting in right now didn't exactly have a real positive past when people look back on sort of.
No, he did not. You're right about that.
That's all I'll say about that.
Well, it's the best way to leave it because you're in his house now. So you might cave the roof in on your.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to look for any kind of, bad. I don't need any bad juju. I got enough bad juju going on as it is.
But wouldn't it be nice if you were sitting there in this economy, and I'm talking about the world economy, not just in America. America's got the best economy in the world. It's not great, but it's a hell of a lot worse other places. So you're looking at the world economy. You're looking at we're in kind of not really tough times, but rocky times right now. Why wouldn't you give that $19 billion back to the taxpayers? Why wouldn't you do that? It makes no sense to me why they pissed that away. And now they're up to what, like $70 billion more they want to spend? Jesus.
Yeah, there's, they're providing meals for school kids. That was a big one, and kids that probably couldn't afford it. But it's all very complicated, right? Because what seems like a really nice effort on the front end also means that you're taking money from somebody else on the back end of it. So it's...
If the kids need the help, I got no problem with that. But what I like, if mom and dad got off their ass and did something too, that'd be great.
That's a great counterpoint, right?
What are you going to do? So anyway, back to the positive side of being in that beautiful mansion.
Yeah, they're going to open. They're going to open it back up for tours this summer, I think.
Oh.
So that's it's been closed up for a while. So that's the big deal. That's why we're here. I mean, it's definitely. I've only been just on the ground floor. I haven't had a chance to go upstairs or anything yet. But yeah, it's really cool. He already said for somebody who digs this kind of stuff and to be able to see the architecture and just, it's really cool.
It was really great about looking at that house. Being a public figure, you get invited places, and it's very nice and all the rest of it. But every time I see, like, the room behind you, I think of being at the governor's residence back when Pawlenty was the governor of the state of Minnesota. And the reason I remember it is because Herbeck was there, too, and kicked my ass at that little hockey game you got, where you twirl the little things.
Foosball.
No, it's not foosball. It's a hockey game.
Bubble Boy Hockey.
Bubble Boy Hockey.
That
Exactly
one.
right.
Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry.
He kicked my ass at that thing. It was horrible memories. That's all I'm saying.
There is not a bubble hockey game set up in this particular.
There's no bubble
Well, have you been to every room? Do you know
That's
that?
true. I can't say that. Where was that set up in the governor's residence, Tom?
Downstairs, in the lower level.
Was it like a rec room?
Yeah, like a rec room area. It's got a nice fireplace and all that. That was quite. They're redoing that. I'm glad they're redoing it because that is a beautiful. Who was it? It was a woman who gave it to the government. As a matter of fact, gave it to the state of Minnesota.
Was it?
I can't remember what her name. God, was it a member of the Hill family? Maybe extended member of the Hill family or something. I don't remember who it was, but one thing. And let me say this because it should happen for everybody. To be, grow up the way I grew up and all the rest of it. I do remember the first time I sat there in the governor's residence. And the first time I was there was when Arnie Carlson was governor. Mm-hmm. You look around and go, what the hell am I doing here? Why did I get invited to this? You know what I mean? It's pretty damn. Whatever happened to Cindy Bricado? Because Cindy worked, I believe she was one that kept inviting me to the joint.
Yeah, well, she's still around.
I really like her a lot.
She was doing, we would see her quite a bit. She was doing, I can't remember if it was called Twin Cities Business Journal. There was some kind of business program that she was anchoring for a while. And so she'd come in and they would tape that, I think, right after midday. So we used to, when I was still doing midday, we used to catch up with her quite a bit. Yeah, she was super nice. I liked her.
I love her. Plus she's a nice little Italian woman who'd whoop your ass if you give her a chance.
Oh, for sure. I wouldn't, and I would not mess with her. There's no doubt about that.
Isn't that a great? I mean, just for look, you grew up in South Dakota, and now look where you are right now. Are you looking around that room going, "How the hell did I ever get here?" Isn't that great? What a great feeling.
It's pretty cool. That's a really cool thing about this job. You get to go and experience all kinds of things. And hopefully experience it for people at home. So, you get to be the little conduit there but yeah, it's cool.
And they'll be able to go through a tour there. The people that are watching right now could go, not right now, but maybe in the near future, they can go for a tour. That'd be great.
And we're like going all over a bunch of different places around Minnesota today, down in Rochester.
Oh, okay.
We're over to Minneapolis. A couple of guys are redoing the Pillsbury. They're calling it Pillsbury Castle now. So they bought that and they're renovating that. And we've got a couple realtors on today who are going to talk about like buying something like this or what would be involved in that other than just a lot of money. But
better have a lot of money, man. No doubt about it.
And if you buy something like that's on a historic register or something like that, you got this whole different set of very strict rules that you have to follow in order to do any kind of renovations to it. So,
do you Did you notice out front, is there a huge statue of a werewolf wearing an American flag T-shirt?
It's definitely that vibe, man.
It really is, isn't it?
Also, can you ask one of those realtors, can I get a first-time homebuyers program with one of these houses?
Yeah.
Like, what is the deal?
That's definitely a Fannie or Freddie Mac.
Yeah.
It's something. We know that.
I got to figure out what to yell to get the ghosts to come out. Like, ghosts, we invoke you to attack Chris.
Stop.
You like that a lot.
What, do you want me to lose my other leg now? I don't need any more of
You
this.
think they're going to come for your leg? What kind of...
Yes. They're going to sweep it right out from under me, and then I'll be like straight up Lieutenant Dan for the rest of my life. But I'm not there yet.
Well, you've been looking to lose weight.
Well, that's true. If anybody sneaks up behind you, I'll tell you they're coming.
Yeah, good. Thanks. Because there's one of those, there's like several pictures on the wall that are like just the head of the person.
Right.
Yeah, like the bust. It's wild. Behind you is super spooky, and the lighting and everything.
Gorgeous.
It's super spooky.
I wonder if I can.
Please don't do that, what you're doing right now. It looks like you've... Look, what does his thumb look like in that picture?
I don't know.
It looks like Brett Favre wearing Crocs.
You got it. Yeah. That's exactly what it looks like.
I was trying to... I don't think I can do it. I was trying to switch the perspective of the camera.
Oh, that's a good look. We got a good look of it.
Yeah, and if you look back in those curtains back there, the kid from Two Men and a Baby is also in the... He's also in there.
Oh.
But look at that woodwork over your right shoulder. That's beautiful. It's a door. That door got some age to it, baby.
It's so ornate. Like everything. The wallpaper is like, I hate to even touch anything. And like what you can't see right here is like one of those butler things where you pass things through from one room to the other.
Yeah.
Like a dumbwaiter.
So I've got the phone set up right there. And,
I think it's offensive to call it a dumbwaiter. I'm very upset.
Well, Chris is average waiter at best.
Average waiter at best.
I was a good server, Brittany.
Oh, okay, I actually believe that.
Yeah.
Boy, that was a big argument. That was a big argument.
Let's see this. Ready? Here's the question. Can you grab me some ranch? That's usually when you say right away, you have to go, no problem. But in your heart, you're going, I just asked if anyone needed anything.
How do you need more ranch, you fat ass?
Well, isn't that a nice take? That's nice right there, ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, that's what's going on in your head.
Yeah.
I just asked if you guys needed anything when I went and got everybody else ranch. Can I get some ranch too? Yeah, no problem is your answer.
Absolutely.
Oh my God, I'd love to. I actually wanted to go do that anyways.
So, Chris, we only got a couple of minutes left here. Any big top stories we should know about? I mean, obviously, there are a lot of good stories.
Well, Brittany was talking about it yesterday. Metro Transit has changed course, and they are going to have buses and light rail running after Taylor Swift on Friday and Saturday.
Yep.
So there was kind of a big outcry about that and all kinds of concerns, along with Pride stuff going on, how people are going to get in and out of downtown Minneapolis. So so at least they've got that option.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Actually, Rudy's sister, Jen, texted me that they have, instead of MOA, they have MOTE, like Taylor Swift, and they are going to do buses from the Mall of America, which is pretty nice.
Yeah. They got to do something, right? You can't just have that many people cruising around through downtown Minneapolis.
Which day?
And there's no place to park anyway.
Friday. I'm going Friday.
You're going Friday? Okay.
Will you pick me up?
Yeah, and then I'll also throw you down. So that'll be perfect.
Hey-oh! Deadlift, baby.
And then there was another, what was I going to tell you? I brought this up the other day. There was another kerfuffle with a bunch of kids.
Well, I love kerfuffle, by the way.
Well, they in Maple Grove. I'm trying to find the story. I printed it out. A bunch of kids who got like whole park filled with people and all kinds of antics going on. No, it was Brooklyn Park.
Oh, yeah.
And two kids actually got hurt after a big fight. Several hundred juveniles were in Nobles Park.
Oh, yeah.
After being forced out of Elm Creek Reserve in Maple Grove.
Yep.
So in the northwest suburbs, there's been all kinds of stuff going on with giant, parties and kids and stuff, and the cops are trying to get all that taken care of. But
maybe the parents should get involved and tell their kids to behave for once. How about that?
that would be something that you could say. Absolutely.
I'll be very honest with you. I didn't act like that when I was a kid because if my mother had found out about it, she'd start crying, and I would never get over making my mother cry.
I was so scared of my mom growing up. Beverly.
So it should be.
And she made it very clear. She's like, if you come home drunk, like I am calling the police on you. Like your athletics will know. I mean, there was no like, I'm gonna cover for you, honey. It was like, I was so scared of Beverly.
How it should be.
And as it should be.
Good for her.
Yeah.
That's why you turned out to be such an amazing person.
And failed miserably. She tried and it didn't work.
She can only do so much.
Yeah, exactly.
Beverly is only human.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
She's now watching Go-Go, so she's going to do better this time around.
All right, anything else, hobbies? We already covered BB Rexa getting hit in the face with a phone. Why?
Yeah,
and the guy loved the fact that look, I hit her in the face. Ha, ha, ha.
Hilarious.
So I don't get that.
I don't understand. I hurt someone. Isn't that great that I hurt someone?
I know, like her face has got pretty jacked up from that
really
too.
Did.
So
she could have been blinded in that eye, man. If it was one more inch over to the left, it would have blinded her.
How cool if we had laws that were like, now you're never allowed to hold anything that's over a 1 pound item. So you could never have a phone, things like that. Like, what if we had just like cool laws like that? Like,
hey, listen, there are places where you'd probably lose a hand for something like that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not trying to remove anybody's limbs. Why do you always think I'm after people's limbs?
The limbs.
It's just it's a vibe you're putting out, Brittany. That's all I'm saying.
I feel that. I'll work on that.
Okay, I just have to read this headline because it just popped up because there's so many odd headlines about BB Rexa getting hit in the face with a thrown phone and this, that, and the other thing. Juneteenth pioneer is missing from his grave. What the hell is that? You know anything about that?
No, I hadn't heard that.
Jesus. What, did you dig somebody out?
Also, how did they know that?
Well, that family sues after Sidney Cooper's grave at San Diego Cemetery is found empty. Well, who the hell took his body, for Christ's sake?
And how long has he been there?
Yeah, well, exactly.
How long has he been
there? Do you mind if I read this paragraph? It's just one paragraph.
Do it.
Go for it.
Let me put my professorial glasses on here because, the family of the man who started Juneteenth celebrations in San Diego said they've been visiting an empty grave for 22 years. Sidney Cooper's body and casket are missing from his plot at Greenwood Memorial Park and Mortuary, something his family learned in March when the cemetery opened the lot 319 so that Cooper's wife Thelma could be buried alongside him. Sidney Cooper is still lost as we speak, says an attorney for the family, which filed the lawsuit against the cemetery and its parent company on Friday. They don't know where he is to reunite this beautiful couple in their eternal rest. He's been missing for 22 years?
Well, how long does it take for a body to,
Not
biodegrade?
Not long.
Is it like, I don't know, 9 years or something? Wouldn't you just open up? Wouldn't you just dig down there and like everything would be gone? You'd go, well, that's obviously nature doing what nature does.
They must have mean like the casket was gone too, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, how long does it take for the ground to eat that stuff up?
The casket, if it was metal and stuff, a lot of that wouldn't break down after.
It says the grave was empty, so you might have a point.
Yeah.
Maybe never was there in the first place.
Ooh,
maybe.
The plot thickens, Chris Egert. Yeah.
Yep.
Who are they going to sue?
WhoCanISue.com. Let's go to that website.
Yeah, like who do you sue?
You guys,
peekaboo.
You guys ever put a body in the ground?
You mean
like literally? Lower one into the ground?
No.
It's weird.
I bet.
Yeah, it's a weird feeling because
really odd.
They put straps through the casket like where the handles are.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Yeah.
You lower it down, and I had to do some community service because I got in a little bit of trouble when I was a youngster.
No, not you.
Shocking.
And so I had to spend time at the Chisholm Cemetery up in northern Minnesota for a week. And one of the, day number 2, they were like, hey, come over and join us. And then you watch the family as they're grieving drive away. And then this guy comes up. He's like, all right, take this tow strap. And they kind of run it through the handles. And then you pick up the casket and you lower it into the ground. And then you start shoveling dirt over the top of it.
Yeah.
They were lucky because they were really playing with fire, having juvenile delinquents at funeral services, lowering like that.
I mean, I went through the guy's pockets before we lowered it down there, obviously.
Mean, what if you said something like, what if you were doing it and you're like, ew, this is gross, like a teenager says.
Yeah.
Some inappropriately weird thing, or like, Is he really in there? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's mixing some worlds that maybe shouldn't mix.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. All right, you guys, have a good rest of your day. I got a buzz.
Bye,
Cool.
Chris. Watch
What do you
out
mean you
for
got a buzz? What have you been
gold.
drinking? You just said I've got a buzz. I heard you say that. Booze
I don't have a
hound.
buzz yet. That'll happen later today.
Chris Egert invokes the spirits.
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Egert news brought to you by Mr. Money Talk Josh Arnold. Call Josh for your free 48-minute financial evaluation. We'll take a break. We have a guest in studio up next, correct?
We do.
Yeah. Is Randy here?
Yes.
I thought I saw him pop in there. We'll be right back. Randy Lubas will be with us. Loons on the Lake Comedy Festival, June 21st, which, of course, is tomorrow. 21st, 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. Crooners in Fridley, which is a great venue anyway. We will talk to Randy right after this. It's Tommy B for our new advertiser, Niemeyer Trailer Says. Says, good. How about sales, Tom? Let's go with that. Been a part of Minnesota since 1965. The name says it all. They are a family if you want to take your passion on the road and make memories camping wherever you want. No motors, but pulled trailer RVs. Go to Niemeyer Trailer Sales. Father Jim Sr. started the business, and now brother and sister team, Tim, whom I know. Tim's a great guy. And Lisa, of course, probably a much better person than Tim, but you know. So, yeah, the brother and sister team, Tim and Lisa, handle Albertville with Jim Jr. at the helm in Elko New Market. The best name in non-motorized RVs with great deals on the best brands like Rockwood and Northwood. Niemeyer Trailer Sales truly outservices their competition with personal employees, often sons and daughters of this third-generation family-owned business who simply do what they say they will do every time because their names are on the building. And with a huge selection of RV service pros, it says Ceresis Pros here, but I think they meant services. You know what I mean? RV Service Pros, you will leave satisfied no matter what you're looking for. They take care of every memory maker, customer, that comes in their Albertville or Elko New Market location. Head to NIEMEYERS.com and put your passion on the road. Niemeyer Trailer Sales.
Ready, set, summer. Hi, Judd Zulgad here. You know, the unofficial start of summer, well, it's here. Whether you're heading to the beach, the ballpark, or a barbecue, summer is more fun when you are feeling your best. Let Livia Weight Control Centers help you make the most of our beautiful summer days. Join Livia's doctor-recommended program today and get 8 weeks free. That's right, 8 weeks for free. You could lose up to 15 pounds or more by the 4th of July. I lost 40 pounds on this program a couple of years back, and I'm going to tell you the most important thing. The dietitians and nutritionists at Livia are going to help you maintain weight loss. We've all lost weight, right? Inevitably, it feels like it comes back. Not with this program. It has done right by me, and I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to do right by you. Summertime is here, and Livia wants you to make the most of it. Call 855-GO-LIVEA or visit LiviaLIVEA.com. Join today and get 8 weeks for free. Again, 15 pounds or more lost by the 4th of July. Are you kidding me? Call 855-GO-LIVEA. Livia voted Minnesota's best weight loss program 2 years in a row. Check them out to lose the weight.
Guys, I want to let you know about acoustic wave therapy protocol provided by my new sponsor, Twin Cities Premier Health. It's a non-invasive, non-surgical, highly effective, science-based procedure that creates an increase in blood flow and helps create new blood vessels by treating the root cause of most erectile dysfunction. Unlike using a pill to create a pharmaceutically induced erection, they treat the root cause of the problem. Age-related erectile dysfunction is most commonly caused by a buildup of plaque in the arteries that supply blood to the erectile tissue. Reach out to Twin Cities Premier Health like I did, and right now receive this special offer, a free treatment and a free consultation when you book today. That is valued at $800. 952-395-4346. That's my unique phone number, 952-395-4346 for their office, or go to TwinCitiesPremierHealth.com. And please be sure to tell them that Tom Barnard sent you. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Randy Lubas, our very special guest in studio, Loons on the Lake Comedy Festival, June 21st to the 24th at Crooners. You ever been at Crooners in Fridley?
Yeah.
It's a great place.
Yeah, it is. Not only is it, considered one of the best jazz venues in the world, the food is amazing. It's just great. I met Mary T, and when we first had the idea of possibly doing the festival, she flew me in to do a comedy show there. So I did a show there in the winter last year. And that's when we came in and just bounced the idea of doing a festival. And I got to see the place, and it's just a beautiful place. And it's 3 different stages and great food. It's just a really, really fun place with a super great vibe.
You used to have a great bartender there. Do you remember the bartender there?
Was it Troy?
Yep.
Yeah.
My youngest brother was a bartender there. No longer with us, unfortunately.
Sorry to hear
I blame you. You showed up, and all of a sudden he never saw him again.
Well, he's probably serving drinks somewhere, right?
No, he probably is. But yeah, it's great to have you in studio. Thanks for coming in. Randy, got to be honest with you, during that whole COVID deal, because for decades we had people in, comedians, come in studio, sit down, and we talk. Because before then, I did not know this, but like 35 years ago, people didn't bring comedians into radio studios to talk to them. And I don't know why they didn't, because we, from the day one, is like, well, of course you bring them in here. Why wouldn't you? Right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, all these years and all the different spots and all that stuff, it's just, it's great to have you guys back, because for a couple of years there, nobody came in.
I know. And, comedians, we were unable to perform mostly. Yeah. I did some parking lot shows.
Did you really?
Yeah. I own a couple little comedy clubs in California.
Well, that's cool.
And
what city?
One in Valencia, California.
Oh, okay.
I had one for years in Ventura, California. And now we've just opened up a little one in Simi Valley and one in Moorpark.
Ooh, Simi Valley's a hot area, baby.
Yeah.
No doubt about that. Great. Well, God, I have to come out and check it out. That's fantastic.
For sure.
You do look like somebody, damn it, and I'm trying to think of who it is, because I thought I had met him when he walked in. But you look like somebody, and I got to figure out who it is.
People all my life have told me that.
Yeah, really?
I can see that. And it always changes. It's always somebody different. Years ago, I was on a cruise ship, and all the Jamaicans called me Superman because they thought I looked like George Reeve.
Well, yeah.
I could see that.
And so they all, and we're talking 35 years ago. They used to all call me Superman. I was younger then.
Well, you're a big guy, so
But so. It's funny. People like to say who you remind them of, which I guess it's
your brain kind of automatically does that with people for sure.
And you usually hope it's somebody somewhat attractive.
I usually don't want to know. Nice. As soon as somebody says you start looking to I'm like, oh, I'm too scared to know. Like,
That's right. Somebody told me something the other day, and I'm like, what? But
I have heard people say things to other people like, well, you really thought that was a compliment?
I know.
Why would you know who you look just like that? That guy, that bald guy used to be on the Addams Family, put the light bulb in his mouth.
Right.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
great.
great.
Aboard. You can just see it like.
Yeah. Well, when Randy walked in, I was like, I didn't think we had Kevin Hart on the books today.
That's
so
spot
weird
on. Very correct.
Yeah. He walks in and goes, Robert Redford's here?
Right?
I didn't know he was going to be on today.
I was like, Roseanne Barr?
Yeah.
That's it. We go from Robert Redford to Roseanne. See, this is what I put up with
just
every
try to think
day,
of like a third person that wouldn't match those descriptions.
Brittany has to get mean, right?
Yeah, typical. Absolutely typical. There's no question.
Nobody even asked me my pronouns, and that's what's really offensive.
I'm so sorry. We are monsters. We appreciate you're here, Randy.
Yeah. Well, Randy's a comedian, so his pronouns are he.
See?
That's cute.
I can't. That's a friend of mine's joke, but it is a funny joke.
That
so
is
yes.
cute. We all
Randy just looked at me like, oh, is it really?
I like that.
That was really nice, Randy. No, it's great to have. But I'm being sincere about this. It's great to have you guys back in studio. Calling in was the best we could do, best you guys could do, which is terrific. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But to sit across the table from somebody now and say, hey, what's going on? And I will congratulate you because, what you've achieved, not only your career, but starting 2 clubs. That's a lot of hard work, man.
Well, this was interesting because I had produced a comedy festival in Ventura for 9 years.
Okay.
And it was my own club. So when I did that one, sometimes I had it at many different venues in Ventura, not just my club. I rented a theater. I had them at other little restaurants in the Ventura Harbor. But this one, I was doing it from a distance. See, I live in Santa Monica, California.
Ooh, so hideous. That's too bad.
Yeah. So we were able to put this together, and I'm going to tell you, Mary T and her team over at Crooners have been just incredible, helping me do this.
Right.
And doing so many little details, and it's a beautiful website, and this young girl doing part-time work did so much graphic. Zoe was just wonderful. So it was really a collaborative team effort to try to get this launched, and having no idea what it would be like putting something like that into a jazz club that was not used to having. And that's why I'm so excited for people that have never been there to see this amazing venue and then be able to go back and see great music. And then on top of that, occasionally now comedy. Because they did occasionally do a comedy show with a local comic. C. Willie Miles would go in and do a show, and he did great there. And so they were excited about the idea, and now we're going to do 14 shows in 4 days. So
I think it's wonderful. And by the way, it just shows how smart you are. Let's see, I'm going to Minnesota. How about the last week in June? Good thinking, pal. Let's go. Anyway, the last week in June until about maybe Labor Day.
Yeah, well, the funny thing is these festivals are all over. So you got to time it. You got to get your slot. So you're a lot of the comedians want to go to Just for Laughs in Montreal, so you don't want to do it too close to there. And then there are other festivals too that are becoming popular that people want to do. So that was a perfect little spot for us, where not only is it great weather and a great time to be in Minnesota, but it's a great time to have a comedy festival. So it was a win-win.
Erica Rhodes going to be there, Jamie Kennedy, Jimmy Walker, Don McMillan, Randy Lubas will be there, of course. And by the way, did you tell Brittany yet that they're doing a thing? You got to give him $10,000 before he leaves today.
Oh, not a problem. Out of my pocket?
Yes.
Or do you want me to that saved card that I have of yours?
Oh, I have Tom's credit card.
Yeah.
Great.
Brittany, you're also booked to do a tight 20 at the show.
Yeah.
Obviously. Obviously, I'm up there.
Just walk on the stage, do this. Hey, when I was a kid,
I already have my first
That's
joke.
my woman voice. What do you think of that?
My pronouns are he.
Yeah, there's your first joke.
And I'll just wait it out like an extra minute. Just feel it out, feel how that goes, and then knock out another one.
That would be How much time do you have with us today?
I'm here for the long
You're not
haul.
getting out of here till 10 o'clock now.
That's fine. I'm good.
Perfect.
Now, I'm serious, and I know I'm making too much of this, but I love comedians. Been around them my whole life. We brought them in all those years ago. It just changes. It changes everything when a comedian comes and sits in studio with you. And I don't know. I still will never understand why people. I mean, you would hear like when WCCO was a big morning show here, the AM station back in the day. They would bring in people, but they always had to be like Bob Hope or Bing Crosby.
Right.
Like, what the hell? But. Yeah, I mean, that was Hamilton pretty much, wasn't it? Brittany?
Yeah, I think so.
Hamilton and I kind of went, I want to bring some comedians, and he went, yeah, you're right, we should.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why nobody ever did that before. That makes no sense to me at all. Is comedy, I don't know about the biggest it's ever been, but let's say in the last 20 years, it's the biggest it's ever been, do you think?
Well, it's funny. I started doing stand-up comedy in the early 80s. And at that time, comedy clubs were springing up all over the country, and they were and they were so amazing. I remember when they opened the first comedy club in Pittsburgh, where I grew up. They were actually fencing tickets outside to try to.
Really?
Every show was sold out, and people were fencing tickets outside. So there was that explosion then a dip in the '90s when a lot of people who thought, there's money to be made doing a comedy club, but they weren't invested into it artistically at all. It was just for money, and they could just as soon be mud wrestling. They did whatever was popular. So that then they dipped off. I think they're coming back. I do. So. I think they're coming back. I think people are more excited about comedy. It is ever-changing business. It's an ever-changing art form. And that's what's exciting about it. It is always changing. There's always something new. Like you're getting people that all of a sudden become stars from social media, which never happened, obviously, before.
Yep.
And so there's so many different ways you can reach people as a comedian. That watching what has happened through the industry has been very exciting, and that's why it's fun having this festival, because you bring in brand new comics. And any one of them could turn out to be the next big thing. Mm-hmm. We're doing this comedy competition with 40 comedians competing for the $10,000, which is something that I hope the
10,000. Let's go.
I'm on it.
Yeah, okay. Start working. I don't know how much you got so far.
Not great. Some would say I'd be elated to be at 0.
There you go. There you have it.
But one of them could very easily become that next social media star, and you're there seeing them on the entry level, or seeing them when they make it to the semifinals or the finals, and it's going to be exciting and great fun. I hope people get to understand the idea of the comedy competition, because that's the thing that if the Crooners' regular customers could understand Jimmy Walker's coming, or Jamie Kennedy's coming, or Don McMillan or Erica. We've heard of these great comedians, want to go see them, but a comedy competition, what is that? Well, it's 40 comedians from all over North America that are risking a chance to come in and perform their original material for the chance to win $10,000, and have incredible industry people that I have coming in to look at them. Yeah. I've got the woman that books the new faces on the Just for Laughs Festival in Montreal. Mm-hmm. I've got a representative from America's Got Talent. I've got a cruise the manager of entertainment at Carnival Cruises.
Dang.
I've got a couple of booking agents coming. So I've got people coming that can change everybody's life.
Yeah.
And so there's great opportunities, and not only a chance to win $10,000, which isn't bad either.
It's not too bad. Is comedy harder to do now than it's ever been, just because there are things that people just will not listen to anymore?
I don't let it be for me personally.
Good.
I still, if I think something is funny, I'm still going to say it.
Good.
I'm not going to worry. If somebody has a problem with it, I'll deal with the consequences. I've been doing a lot of cruise ships. And it's funny because I did cruise ships years ago for the other cruise lines. Right now I've been doing a lot of Carnival cruises. Mm-hmm. And the nice thing about them is they have a comedy club on every ship, and they make an announcement. If you are easily offended, this is not the place for you.
Good move.
And so how could people complain? Where it used to be on the cruise ships, if anybody complained, they would call you in, they would talk about it. What did you say? Right. What was it? They'd bring a camera crew to watch your act, see what you did. They'd take it back to the head office, look at it. They then say, we didn't see it. We don't know what to do. Okay, well, if 2 or 3 people complained, maybe they're just complainers,
Yeah, maybe.
But the nice thing is these Carnival cruises, you get to a lot of shows, and you get sharp. You're doing 5 shows every 3 days, and then if you do back to back, you do 10 shows in a week, and you're blasting out new material, and you're really getting a lot of work in. So it's really fun.
Just one quick question. We're going to bring our friend Judd in. And by the way, I'm warning Judd in advance because I know he can hear me. There are 2 words you cannot say on the show this morning, and those 2 words would be the and twins. You're out. You can't say those 2 words. I hate the Twins more than any team in history. Judd, what do you think?
Well, you just said it, first of all.
I know.
Say it, and then you said, I hate the Twins.
I broke my own rule.
Violated the rule, but yeah, I'm with you totally. I am.
Can't take him anymore.
Take this anymore. No, I'm with you.
No, we're going to annoy him. They're just far too annoying. We're talking some comedy here. Randy Lubas in studio with us. Do you think, with today's political climate, people like Don Rickles or even Richard Pryor would make it?
Pryor would for sure, but Rickles, I think that Rickles would have just gone ahead and done it. I don't know how you would have started a career like his.
Right.
That's the thing.
Right.
Because all of us think of Don Rickles as a, established product. That's Don Rickles.
Yeah, right.
But any of us knew what it was like for Don Rickles to start. I don't know. I don't know whether he started out that same way, being this, guy that picked on the crowd. I don't know. That's a good question because you don't have the latitude of being a star starting out doing comedy that way.
Right.
So I don't know.
I will tell you, honest to God, you would never meet a nicer man.
That's what everybody
says. One of
says.
the nicest human beings I've ever met. I made him cry once because I gave him a compliment and he started crying.
Wow.
I gave him this huge compliment and I thought he'd go, oh, that's very nice. He teared up. He was so happy.
I've heard the same thing. And generous as well.
Very generous man as well. Richard Pryor, he might not be able to use the big N as much as he did back in the day. If you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, I had a friend of mine go see Rickles he performed up until like the last couple of weeks of his life.
Yep,
he said he saw him about 3 months before he passed. And you could tell the crowd was kind of like, we just kind of came so we could see Don before he passed. And they were just kind of, laughing enough just to kind of keep the show moving. And Don was kind of picking up on it. And finally, at some point, he told a joke, and it got about a B- response. And he looks down at the crowd, and there's a guy sitting there with his wife, and he's holding his wife's hand. And he goes, "Why are you holding her hand? No one's fighting over her." Huge laugh. Huge.
That's how it should be.
And then the crowd was like, that's what we came to see. And then Rickles just unleashed on, and it was like, it was the dawn of yesteryear. And then, like 7 weeks later, he was gone.
God, isn't that just like I said, I've only had personal contact with him, many times he's been on the show and on the phone and all that stuff, but I ran into him a couple of times. The one thing I was uncomfortable about with Don Rickles, and I checked with several other people, I went backstage to talk to him before a couple of shows that he did, and until he went on stage, he didn't put his pants on. What the hell?
That's my kind of person.
I get that.
I know.
I feel that. Yeah.
I get home and I immediately take off my bra. Immediately.
He literally told me, I said, Don, why aren't you wearing any pants? He goes, because I don't want to wrinkle them.
Oh, nice.
He wanted his pants to look really nice, and he wanted to look well groomed. And he thought if he put his pants on sitting down, they'd be wrinkled, and he didn't like that idea.
Or just
just boxers.
Yes, just boxers. That's exactly.
That's fine. You know what?
That would have been a little awkward if it was a Speedo.
Yeah, Speedo. Yeah, that'd be a problem.
Something like weird.
Man, he'd be rolling over if he saw what comics dress like on stage nowadays.
Right?
How many days you been wearing that hoodie? Take that thing off, man. Put on a friggin' something with buttons, please.
It's true, Judd. So, do you have a favorite comedian in life? Might not even, like Rickles was one of my favorites. No longer with us. Pryor, another one, no longer with us.
Yeah, Pryor was great. It's weird too because I'm not sure what you guys think about this, but to me, it's eras as well.
Yes.
So it's sort of like sports. I don't know that you can say, well, Seinfeld is the greatest of all time. Well, he might have been good for his era.
Yeah.
But you go back, if you go back, Tom, as we've discussed before, to the 60s and 70s of network TV roasts, which really challenged comedians, I think, because you had to keep it semi-clean, but it had to be mean-spirited in some ways. To me, that's a totally different time period than now.
Yeah, it is.
So I've got a bunch of, I've got different ones. The guy who was surprisingly, I thought, hysterical just because his TV image was so clean cut was a guy like Bob Saget. I thought Bob Saget was hilarious because he had the most filthy mouth of all time, but he was the dad from Full House or whatever.
Another guy, you could not meet a nicer man than Bob Saget.
Yeah, he came in the studio a whole bunch.
A great guy.
Yeah.
That broke my heart. He just fell and hit his head, right?
I'll tell you a story. I started doing stand-up in Pittsburgh, and Dennis Miller and I were starting at the same time.
Sure.
And Dennis said to me, I just saw Kip Addotta on The Tonight Show, and he said he was going to be performing at the Cleveland Comedy Club. This was probably in about 1980. And so I said, well, why don't we see if we can drive over to Cleveland and do a show there, and see if they'll put us up. So I called the Cleveland Comedy Club, whoever I talked to on the phone. I said, there were a couple of comedians from Pittsburgh. We were hoping maybe we could do a guest set on your show. And the guy goes, yeah, come on over on a Friday. And so we drive about 3 hours to get to Cleveland. We get there, and the owner of the club says, no, we're not putting you guys on. So Dennis and I are standing downstairs in the bathroom, commiserating and thinking, oh, we drove all the way here, and we see this tall, lanky guy standing there. He goes, what's up with you guys? And I said, oh, we're a couple comics from Pittsburgh. We drove over, and they said that we could go on, and now they're saying we can't. It was Bob Saget. And Bob went up and said, you got to put these guys on. And so we both went on, and we both did great, and they wanted to keep us for the weekend, put us in a hotel and let us do, but we couldn't stay. And so we went back to Pittsburgh, but both of us got hired to work there.
That's
it was my
awesome.
first ever week working in a comedy club, which I got
amazing.
hired to work there. And I worked, believe it or not, with Dave Coulier, who came in to
that guy works very hard.
Yeah.
Man, he works hard.
That's who the first headliner was I worked with.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What a cool story.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, life should be.
Was he doing the the puppets at that time, Dave Coulier? Was he bringing them out on stage with him?
No, he didn't have puppets, but he did all voices.
The voices and
the
stuff, yeah.
Wizard of Oz and
sure.
all of that stuff.
I'm not a puppet guy. Was that a good thing?
No, it was fun.
Oh,
yeah,
it was?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
good,
It was.
good.
Yeah, he
Glad
was
to
good
hear
with it. Yeah, he does this thing now where he does celebrity farts. And if you just name him like a celebrity, he'll be like, okay, here we go. This is Lady Gaga after eating 2 beef and bean burritos from Taco Bell. And then he just does a fart, and it is the funniest thing you've ever heard. So you're like, yes, because that could be what Lady Gaga sounds like.
Yes, it could absolutely be that.
So funny.
Another great guy, though. I always loved having him in studio and the rest of it. And I'll say it again, Randy. It's so great to have you guys back in studio, men and women, obviously. It's how the show started all those years ago, Thursdays and Fridays. I mean, you're in on a Tuesday, which is even better. I always looked forward to the end of the week, Thursday and Friday, because the comedians would come in. We would always laugh. My family got to, because I do a podcast with my family after this one, too. And my family got to, like, Andy and Gilbert Gottfried became really good friends because they were both so goddamn quirky. That's my son.
Okay.
But honest to God, it to me, the best part of me ever getting back into radio and doing the whole thing was the comedy part.
Yeah.
I just love the comedy part of it.
Well, I know that probably I'm going to say probably in the mid-'80s, later 80s is the first time I was ever on the Bob and Tom radio show.
Sure, yeah.
Which became enormously popular. When I first went on, it was in a tiny little studio smaller than this.
Indianapolis.
And in Indianapolis.
Yep.
And I eventually got to be on many of their CDs, and I got a lot of fans from that show. And so it was that they were some star makers. They made,
oh, no doubt about
it. They made people into stars. Like there was a gap after Johnny Carson would do that, then kind of Bob and Tom came along and did it, and I think Howard Stern to a certain extent as well. So radio is a powerful way for comedians to get the word out and for people to know about you.
No, it was back then. There's no question about it. It's that I got to know those guys pretty well over the years, and the radio people back in that era were different. Those guys are very professional. Let me put it that way.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a whole lot of that now, but they busted their ass, and it was pretty
Well, of course,
amazing.
as you know, the radio industry changed a lot, too,
It certainly
over that time.
did. Matter of fact, my prediction has been a radio's got about maybe 36 more months. I just don't think it's going to be around anymore. First of all, they're not making anywhere near as much money
That's
as they
right.
used to.
That's what happened.
And that's going to be a huge problem.
Yeah.
There are a couple of radio stations that, matter of fact, the people that I'm partnering up with on this show, they have a couple of stations that do very well, but Brittany, you could talk about this more than I can, the fact that they waited around years before that one station broke through, but they had enough money and they supported it. They believe in their products, so those shows will probably always do well because they have, most of the radio companies now are broke.
Yeah, it's really interesting where the company we work for now, it's it's not just what are your ratings, it's what demographics aren't being served and how can we utilize that in a creative way. And they think of such creative ways to make revenue. I mean, there's another station I work at, My Talk 107.1, he was talking about that we do these big events, and that's a big part of our revenue as well. And it's just, it's so interesting to not just have to worry, like, where are we in age 25 to whatever, to blah, blah, blah.
Right.
It's like, it doesn't matter. We're figuring it out. So
Yeah, that's the same thing is happening with movies and television with the strikes.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Everything is changing. Everything is going to change to where it's commercials are going to appear everywhere. where they didn't before. You're going to see them on Netflix. You're going to see them on places that never had them.
Oh, yeah.
And not only that, but they're going to start charging. You'd have to pay for everything.
They do a good job of that.
Yeah.
You already do, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
You should see our cable bill. My God.
Oh, yeah, it's huge. It's huge.
Yeah.
I do miss, and it's a true story because, been around. We were the first family that had a TV. I think I was like 3 years old. That was back when my father actually showed up for work, if you know what I'm saying. But I do miss the structure of television. It's no longer there. It's all streaming now. And I don't get me wrong, I love streaming. The programming's magnificent. But that old deal about you get home and watch American Bandstand or whatever.
Right.
I suppose you still could streaming, but there was a nice flow to the day,
Yeah.
And that's just gone.
No, especially young people don't watch. Nobody watches late night TV.
No.
They wait till the next day and they watch it on their phone.
Yeah, and the clips that somebody else picks out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's not exactly great anymore anyway.
No.
I mean, I'm sorry. They're not Johnny Carson. It's just a fact. It's just not even close.
No.
But I heard that Carson, when he used to go get drunk, was one of the biggest pricks ever born. Were you ever around Johnny when he was drinking?
Well, I tell you this.
He goes, well, I'll tell you.
I was at the Ed McMahon Friars Roast.
Oh, there you go.
I was at the Ed McMahon Friars Roast. This is an interesting story. I was sitting there, and sitting next to me was Melvin Belli.
Oh, my God.
Famous attorney.
Sure.
He's sitting right next to me, and I'm at a table of maybe about 8 people. And all of a sudden, this is the first Friars Roast that ever allowed a woman to attend. And it was Gloria Allred.
Did she do the deal with the bat?
Well, Gloria Allred comes over to meet Melvin Belli, right?
Sure.
Because he's sitting next to me.
Yep.
So she comes over. This is before the roast starts. And she comes over and says, she introduces herself. They talk for a minute, and then she comes over to talk to me. And we had never met. And all I can say is when Gloria Allred met me, she was absolutely zeroed in, focused, looking straight at me.
Ooh, that's good.
She was looking right at me,
really good.
really interested, wanted to know who I was, what I was doing there, and I've had her undivided attention. And that was what impressed me about her, because I was no one to her.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting next to this world-famous attorney, and she gave me the exact same sort of attention she gave him. It was very, very interesting. So flash forward to the beginning of the roast. Milton Berle opens the roast. His opening line was, "Good evening, gentlemen, and C-word."
Oh, wow.
That was
Milton.
That was the opening line of the roast.
I do that same thing on this show every morning.
Every morning.
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing, Rudy? And
Yeah. And it's a near and dear word. I get warm and fuzzies every time he says it.
now, Judd, you're right.
Now-
Just say what you just said, Judd. That was good.
I said Uncle Milty throwing fastballs. Right? That's high and tight.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It's also like a low-hanging fruit moment, right? Like,
Right.
yeah.
Well, so then finally, Johnny Carson comes on, and he says, while ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered here tonight while UNICEF volunteers are feeding the hungry. Mother Teresa is bathing the feet of lepers in Calcutta. And we are collectively here to honor this worthless tub of SH. That was Johnny Carson's first line.
That's a great line, man. We got to take a break. Be right back. Judd, I'm sorry, but we got to talk a little sports after this break.
Okay.
I don't want to.
Just a little.
We have to. Randy Lubas in studio. Loons on the Lake Comedy Festival, June 21st, 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. Crooners in Fridley, which if you've never been, you will love it. Headliners include, of course, Erica Rhodes, Jamie Kennedy, Jimmy Walker, Don McMillan. $10,000 comedy competition. We'll talk a lot more about that with Randy Lubas as things go on. More with Judd Zulgad right after this. I've been telling you for a couple of months now how happy I am with mnfatloss.com program. Really has been easy and effective. I've lost 27 pounds. It really just hasn't been that hard. I eat great food. I don't feel hungry. I have plenty of energy to get out and enjoy this fantastic spring weather we've been having. It was hotter than hell yesterday, as a matter of fact. And I'm going into summer looking and feeling great. Ooh, I just said I look great. What do you think of that?
I think you look great.
She wants money.
But that always holds true.
That always holds true. Right now, mnfatloss.com is offering an exciting summer special, $200 off, now through July 30th. But don't wait until the whole summer goes by to get this program started. Go to mnfatloss.com for details on this very special offer. If you want to find out the secret to losing 20 to 30 pounds, just 8 weeks, just like I'm doing, save $200 in the program. Schedule your free consultation. Just go to mnfatloss.com. That is mnfatloss.com. Of course, results may vary. And always be sure to tell the team at mnfatloss.com that Tom Barnard sent you.
This is the Tom Barnard Morning Show. Listen live on the Tom Barnard Show app or at tombarnardshow.com.
You all have helped build MyPillow into the incredible company it is today. Mike Lindell, the creator of MyPillow, knows this and continues to give back to listeners with deals on his most popular products. You've heard me recently speak about the My Slippers, the Giza Sheets, MyPillow 2.0, and more. Mike's latest offer is on his 6-piece towel set. This set is made with USA cotton, making it extremely absorbent, yet still providing that soft feel you look for in a towel. The set comes with 2 bath, 2 hand towels, and 2 washcloths, typically retailing for $99.98. For a limited time, you can get this set on clearance for $25 with promo code TOM. That's over 70% in savings. These towels are machine washable, very durable, and come in multiple styles and sizes. To find this offer, just go to mypillow.com and click on the radio podcast square to get this clearance price of $25 on the towel set. This deal will not last long. Enter promo code TOM for this special and many more.
This is Bob Sansevier, and I want to tell you about Dave Bialke from Bialke Law. Dave represented my wife, Mary, when she had a significant workplace injury. She was very happy with the job Dave did. If you have a work-related injury and have Dave represent you, I'm betting you'll be happy too. Dave is a down-to-earth guy. He grew up in northern Minnesota, rides a Harley, and worked various jobs doing concrete, electrical, plumbing, roofing, and carpentry work. Dave works for people with work-related injuries. If you work construction, or anywhere for that matter, and you're hurt or even just hurting, you should talk to Dave. Let's face it, our bodies wear out. If your body is worn out from work, if your knees or back or shoulders hurt from things you do at work, do what Mary did. Call Dave and talk to him about it at Bialke Law to set up a free initial consultation. The number to call is 763-571-2410. That's 763-571-2410. Or visit bialkelaw.com. That's BIALKE law.com.
This is Tom Barnard for Niemeyer Trailer Sales. They've been a part of Minnesota since 1965, and their name says it all. They are family. If you want to take your passion on the road and make memories camping wherever you want, no motors, but pulled trailer RVs, go to Niemeyer Trailer Sales. True story. The very best brands live at Niemeyer's. Like the latest from Rockwood by Forest River, #1 in their class, whether you want a tent trailer, expandable, travel trailer, or a fifth wheel, Niemeyer Trailer Sales has it all. Plus, they deliver on the forgotten art of customer service with personable employees, often sons and daughters of the third-generation family-owned business who simply do what they say they will do every time. Come explore their huge selection and consult with RV service pros. You will leave satisfied no matter what you are looking for. The Niemeyer family welcomes you to visit both of their locations in Albertville and Elko New Market before your next vacation. Head to NIEMEYERS.com and put your passion on the road. Niemeyer Trailer Sales. 9:25, now 25 minutes after 9 o'clock. It is 79 and sunny. Man, god damn, it's 80 degrees already and sunny?
Yes.
Woo. Not a bad thing. I wisely wore a light shirt today. What do you think?
I'm ready to go.
Oh, now you're ready to go.
Shoulders out.
Ready to get home and take the bra off.
Yeah, tell me about it. I'm exhausted.
I guess I know where he was looking. You know what I'm saying.
That's my favorite thing, getting if I have a ponytail in or taking my bra off. You guys will never know the feeling of taking off a tight ponytail. It is the best feeling in the world.
Well, if I put on a bunch of weight, I might be able to wear a bra. That'd be good.
Oh, yeah, a bra also feels
nice
so
stuff.
good to take off.
Does it?
Yes.
Just too restricting?
Oh, God, it feels amazing. Especially if you're in a sports bra, you're just like, oh, my God.
A lot of extra pressure.
Thank you. It is.
Indeed.
My life is just full of pressure.
Okay, so Judd Zulgad's with us, ladies and gentlemen, Skor North, of course, and we're going to be talking about my least favorite subject of all right now. Started off the year as my favorite subject because the Twins were kicking ass, and now, of course, they absolutely suck. What happened? Oops, we don't have him.
Oh, he's muted.
Oh, why don't we have John? There you go,
my
bud.
bad. My bad. Old guy mistake.
Typical.
I muted myself and didn't unmute myself. That's not on Rudy. That's not on Brittany. That's totally on me. Totally on me.
Yeah,
Sorry
typical.
about that. Sometimes
Randy and I'll
I
just
slip
sit
up.
here and watch.
Sometimes I slip up. Yeah, just sit here and watch my lips move. I would love to tell you that I know, Tom, but my God, it's just a disaster.
They're horrible.
It's an absolute. It's painful. Watching Buxton now is painful.
Yep.
He can't get a hit. He strikes out almost every time. Correa, and they don't. You know what's just driving me nuts? And we've talked about this before. They don't do anything about it other than change the lineup. They don't do a damn thing. They are a game under 500, and in this complete joke of a division, they are still in first place.
I know.
Which is criminal. I've always thought if you are a first place team under 500 when the season ends, you should forfeit your playoff spot to the next best team. Because who wants to watch this collection of yahoos actually play a playoff game right now?
And by the way, Judd, you have to do me a favor. Randy is in studio with us. You can bring up the Pirates, but not the Steelers. They beat us in the damn Super Bowl, and I'm never going to forgive them.
Well, how about the
Damn it,
Penguins?
Randy.
If he's a hockey guy,
Well,
long line of success.
The way you describe the Twins is exactly the season the Pirates are having. They started out on fire in June.
Yep.
Then they lose almost all their games in May. They've won 7 or 8 in a row to start June, and now they've lost like 8 out of 12.
That's it.
They're just up and down, horrible. And you talk about them doing nothing. They did yesterday. They moved up their number 1 draft pick. This kid Davis. He's a catcher, but they put him in right field. He got a double his first at bat, but they still lost yesterday.
I have a question.
At least it's something.
Yeah.
You guys remember the days when catchers weren't fast enough to play the outfield?
Yeah.
I really do, man. It's like, what do you mean the catchers play in the outfield?
That's right.
Different era. But I love baseball. I love my Twins, but it's just painful.
Well, I grew up in Pittsburgh, and I have gone through, I think that we had 19 consecutive losing seasons. But there's something about, I don't know, something about baseball where if you were a kid growing up where I did, everybody played Little League. And you just developed a love for the game.
Yep.
And then when I'd be on the road, I always loved to get a physical newspaper and read box scores. It was just it's a tradition.
Yes.
Every day I had to look at those box scores and see what everybody, and I knew the players on every team because of that, because I'm reading the box scores. Now I see the lineup for like the Angels or the Twins. I probably couldn't name one person on the Twins right now.
Yeah.
And I bet you, the average person here couldn't name, the roster of the Mets. It's like you just, and everybody had baseball cards too, and we all knew the players from that. But I just had a love of it, and I loved looking at those box scores. And I even now, a couple of times a year, I'll go to a game alone. And I'll get there early. I'll listen to them warm up in the bullpen. Once you have that love of baseball, you never lose it.
No, I love baseball too. Since I was 9 years old, just love watching baseball games. The Vikings too. They both came along in 1960, 61, somewhere in there. It's just difficult because right now our teams all pretty much suck.
Oh, it's so funny because your division and the Pirates division, both of them have a chance to have somebody under 500 win the division.
But ours sucks worse, okay? Randy, we got the suckage going. We got everyone right now, as of this morning. Nobody has a winning record. I think the National League Central, if I'm not mistaken, has a couple teams. And plus, the Reds are a great story.
The Reds are on fire.
9 consecutive games. They called up the kid prospect who's a great shortstop. So at least there's something to feel good about in your hopeless division. We just have putrid, makes you want to puke baseball teams like the Twins and White Sox.
Yeah.
Well, we'll slog through it, I guess, somehow. You're my Minnesota. I mean, honest to God, Detroit just slaughtered us, and Detroit's terrible. Are they going to have to clean house over there, Judd?
Well, here's your problem, okay? So, the more you watch this, you think to yourself, they might need to. But the poll ads don't do that unless things have gone wrong, really wrong for a long. The poll ads like to take the keys to the car, hand them to the baseball operations guys, and say, drive it as long as you want. And then, it's going to break down. Tires will be flat. Leave it on the side of the road and walk away.
Yep.
And so that's my problem. Because I watch, again, what's killing me is nothing changes. There's I'm not even asking for a big firing. I'm saying for, as you texted me while I was thankfully about 4 beers in at the game on Sunday. Why is Max Kepler still here?
I don't know. I don't get it.
Just make some type of statement, like Randy's team. Okay, they called a guy up, but he's a top prospect, generates excitement.
Yep. Oh, God, I'm going home.
I'm pretty worked up.
I'm going home 28 minutes early. I'm just leaving.
Both of you such nerds. Pretty worked up here. Pretty worked up.
Telling you.
If you can't tell, I'm pissed off.
I am pissed off as you are. There's no question about it. It's summer in Minnesota. Look, Pittsburgh doesn't exactly have the greatest winter weather either.
No.
But you sit there, it's summertime. You give me some winning baseball, and I know we're in first place, so I guess it is. But they don't have a winning record. Right. It's my summer. You got to play baseball. Let's go. University of Minnesota's not done anything on a baseball field how many years now?
There's an afternoon game on Tuesday. Is it Tuesday or Wednesday? I was thinking of. I think Wednesday. I think they're playing in the afternoon.
I think that is
almost
true.
Thinking
Wednesday
about,
or Thursday.
Yeah, I was thinking about going to that
Thursday,
game.
noon.
It is Thursday at noon, okay.
It's a getaway day game.
Have you ever been to the stadium?
Detroit?
No, haven't been.
Stadium is beautiful. It's really good shout. Don't go to Herbeck's restaurant, though, because he beat me at bubble hockey. Pisses me off.
Okay.
Still mad.
End. I'm still mad about it.
Well noted.
Don't tell him in person, though, because he's like twice my size. So.
Have you seen the Bloody Marys there, by the way?
Oh, yes. Yes.
The Bloody Mary I saw on Saturday at Herbeck's had, and I'm not joking about this, a full hamburger was basically stabbed into the whatever it is to stir. It's a full meal.
Such a Herbeck kind of thing to do right there.
Right?
It really
just
is.
casually throw a hamburger on top.
Just throw a hamburger in there. And
I just want the garnish then. Like, give me a hamburger on a stick. Yes, please.
Well, first of all, it's been sitting in booze and tomato sauce. How bad can it be?
I'm fine with that.
I understand.
Sloppy.
Completely. So what are we going to do, Judd? We have to make some changes. Some of these people have to go.
I would agree completely, but nothing. Again, they have now lost. This is a season high 10-game homestand. They won the first 2 against the Brewers, who of course are from the National League Central, and they're not good, but of course they're competitive because the NL Central's not good. And they won the first 2, and then they lost 3 or 4 to a Detroit team that, I kid you not, was 1-11 in June coming into that series.
Terrible.
Randy, the Tigers were 1-11, and they beat the Twins at home on the Twins' home field, Target Field, 3-4. And then last night, the Twins tied it 3-3 on that Vazquez home run. And you would have thought that they won the World Series if you were watching the telecast. But then, of course, they give up the next 6 runs.
Oh, no.
That Julian, the kid at second, can't play.
No.
Second base. This is as bad as I've seen.
Yep.
Who is their top prospect in the minors?
I think their top prospect right now is actually a Class A. His name is Brooks Lee, a first-round draft pick. They basically have several of their top guys up here. Unfortunately, it hasn't really helped out too much. And then their top guy was going to be Buxton, but the man is perpetually hurt, and so they've decided they're going to DH him all the time. But unfortunately, as I was saying before, he basically now does nothing but strike out, so it's really counterproductive to be a DH who just strikes out.
Another big problem we have on that team is there's a guy, he's a pretty good player, named Joey Gallo. And the problem is when he has a bad game, you can't criticize him just in case he's related to the Joey Gallo that's in the Mafia. So, although that Joey Gallo's dead now, isn't he? The Mafia Joey Gallo, he's dead now, isn't he? I think.
I think he is.
So maybe we'll go after Joey too. But Joey Gallo's a pretty good player. He's not great, but he's pretty good, right?
Except he strikes out.
Well, there is
constantly
that
too. The Twins strike out. I believe that they lead the big leagues in strikeouts, and the amount of big at bats. And have you seen now? So with the bases loaded, I kid you not, this statistic is
God.
real. With the bases loaded in 2023, so we are essentially 3 months in, right? April, May, June. They are now after Sunday, no outs, down by 2, bases loaded, nobody out. Next 3 guys get out.
Yep.
No run score.
Nope.
They are, Randy, they are 10 for 59 with the bases loaded.
I'm going home again.
That's not. You know what gets me is I've been watching the Pirates, the same thing with bases loaded or a man on second with no outs, taking the third strike, taking it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Full count, not protecting the plate, not fouling it off, taking it over and over and over. Where does that come from? I mean, that's got to just be your coach. Says, look, you gotta protect the plate.
Don't get me started. So this is the new thing. This is the new thing.
I love that.
I've got your answer, Randy, and I kid you not. This is not a joke, okay? What players do now is, because players have probably, for the most part, a better idea of what the strike zone should be, because, that box that we see on TV. So the players have a really good idea. The umpires, it just, some are really good, some are terrible. But every player now would rather take strike 3 and bitch about it because it was slightly outside that box than do what you said, which is how we were all brought up, which is if it's anywhere close on 2 strikes, foul it off.
Yeah.
Protect the plate, right?
Yep.
At all costs.
Yep. Yep.
That was our youth. Players would rather bitch at the umpire, go to the clubhouse, watch the replay to confirm that it wasn't strike 3, but guess what? You're still out because the umpire called it strike 3. This is an epidemic now of bravado from these guys who won't just protect the plate and say, you know what, if it's close, might be straight, slightly outside that box, I'm going to at least foul it back.
I'm going to start crying, damn it. Both of you be quiet. My team
we just
sucks.
bonded. This was some good baseball talk.
Oh, I know. This is what I'm saying.
Pirates,
That's why I'm going to tear up for Christ's
PNC
sake.
Park, which I hear is great.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it is. It is a great
Got to go
park.
there.
I love Pittsburgh anyway. Pittsburgh's a great town. You hear that a lot? Because I really am sincere. I love Pittsburgh.
I miss it. I go back. I went back a lot while my mother was still alive. And, of course, had always gone back, but especially a lot. My dad died, and then my mother was there alone, so I went back a lot, and she died in 2009. So since then, I go back once a year or so.
Yeah,
and I have tons of friends there, and it's fun. In fact, I just recorded a TV special or a comedy special there.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and it was a blast. I just did that a few weeks ago. So yeah. It's a great city. Pittsburgh's a great city. And growing up with 4 Super Bowl champions, 2 Pirate World Series victories, and the University of Pittsburgh winning a national championship all in the 70s. I mean, you grow up as a kid, you feel like a winner.
Yeah.
No doubt about
Must
it.
be nice.
A Super Bowl title? What's that?
Yeah.
Gotta go,
Super
guys.
Bowl title.
Once you said that, I'm out of here.
Bye,
You gotta
Judd.
go. Thanks,
Super
Pally.
Bowl titles.
Later.
Super Bowl.
Sorry we triggered you so much.
Judd's out of here, ladies and gentlemen. He heard Super Bowl title and he's gone. When did your mother die?
2009.
Yeah, mine died 2008. That was a bitch, man. But I do have a very quick, and I've told this story a million times, but I'll keep it very, very brief. So I'm going to leave town, because I was doing voiceover at the time. So I'm going to leave town, go do some stuff. And that was when you either traveled there or you started doing it, on the internet and all that stuff. But so I go to visit my mother, and I'm holding her hand, and I said, so Mom, I'll be back in 2 weeks. I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks, and I hate to be leaving you at this time. She goes, I don't think I'm going to be alive when you get back. I said, what are you talking about? She said, I just don't think I'm going to be alive another 2 weeks. And I'm like, Mom, and I'm holding her hand. All this rest of it. So I said, well, let me ask you a question, Mom. Let's say you do die while I'm gone. You've always loved, you're a nice Catholic girl. You've always loved Jesus and God, but you really, really loved the Virgin Mary. You've always wanted to meet the Virgin Mary. So look, Mom, even if you do die, the good news is you finally get to meet the Virgin Mary. There's about a 2-second pause. She goes, yeah, don't give me that. So I luckily got to take that laugh away. I adored my mother. Did you have that same situation?
Oh, I did. And it's interesting because my mother was ill. She had I know she had congestive heart failure, but she had to have oxygen, and I didn't know the extent of it until I got to the house, and there was tubes all over the whole house. The whole house was lined with the tube that she had to breathe into, and she never even told me or my sister that it had gotten that bad. But she was in the hospital, and my sister drove from Virginia to see her in Pittsburgh, and I flew in, and we knew she was on her deathbed.
Right.
And my mother waited until I got there, and my sister and I held her as she took her last breath, and it was within 5 minutes of me arriving.
Oh man, you got very lucky. Yeah, it was very, very
Isn't
lucky.
that crazy?
She waited for me.
That's so.
She did, absolutely, she did. No question.
That's amazing. That's amazing to think, because you don't. How would you know to even control anything like that, and then to just know, you can just let go at that moment. That's amazing that you and your sister and your mom got to share that moment.
Yeah,
I love that. That's a great story.
Yeah, it could make me cry right now.
I know.
I could see that, and I understand.
Yeah.
I do. All these years later, 15 years later, it's like, son of a bitch. But the great thing about it is they were there. And the things that they would do and say. Isn't that just... Well, are you a comedian because of your mother, do you think?
Well, my mother said funny things.
There you go. It's exactly why I'm asking that question.
My mother was like, she would do malaprops. She'd say the wrong word, right?
You and I might have the same mother, because my mother was funny as hell, but she didn't mean to be.
I remember one time my father was in the hospital, and my sister and I show up, and my mother goes, "Oh, thank God you're here. I thought I was going to die when I saw them bringing your father down the hall on that Guernsey."
Guernsey. She was on the Guernsey. This cow came in. We put her on the back of the cow. That's my mother. My mother used to say something. I never have figured this out, and I'm going to ask the three of you and our entire listening audience. When you and I would say, "I can't imagine that," she didn't say that. She said, "I just can't feature that." I'm like, what?
I like that.
What do you mean you can't feature it? What the hell does that even mean?
I've heard people say that.
Have you
that.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, I never heard that. My mother said that, and I never heard anybody else say it. But you know what's so great about this, Rudy? Yeah, we're just sitting here talking, with Rudy and Brittany, just sitting here, and Randy. Well, you did tear up in a bit, which I always do when I talk about things like that. Shows me you're a real man. I love that.
Thank you.
It's true. I mean, if there's a guy out there that's never teared up, get the hell away from me, because you got no feelings.
Right.
I saw Randy in the lobby putting a thumbtack in his shoe. So just step on it every time just to get the tears rolling.
Don't talk too loud. A guy couldn't even complete a sentence earlier last week.
You're right. No, in fact, actually, real quick, Jeff, who had emailed into the show afterwards, who had a very nice, he had I had a moment where my daughter was sick, Randy, just to give you some backstory, and we were talking about a photo, and I kind of lost it on the air a little bit, and a listener had texted and was like, "Hey, I'm going through the same thing right now." Fast forward 4 hours after I left the studio, I was in the airport, and Jeff and his daughter walked up to me, and they were like, "Are you Rudy from the Tom Barnard Show?" And I said, "Yeah." And they were like,
Jeff emailed you.
Yeah, Jeff goes, "I just emailed you today about my daughter, and this is the daughter." And I sat and took a photo with him. And as soon as I saw him, he was like, "I'm Jeff, and I emailed you this morning." It's minutes before we get on the flight, and I just went, "Jeff, you're gonna make me cry," and I started fanning myself. I was like, "Oh no!"
Rudy's sending me pictures. I'm holding my 1-year-old. He's sending me pictures. I'm crying in Eden Prairie, and I was like, "Just lean into it. We're unhinged."
Ugly cry.
And then
lean into it.
Then our listener called in, and I got to send him that photo because Rudy sent it to me, and he asked for that photo. It was just like a very crazy full circle.
Yeah.
Everyone's crying. I have nothing. I have no skin in this game, and I have such I'll cry too. Just because, why not?
We got to take a break. You know what I love about this whole thing is what I kind of made a decision an hour ago right now when you walked in, because you're supposed to appear for about 10 minutes. So we got 10 minutes left of the show, so we're going to now present Randy Lubas, ladies and gentlemen, Loons on the Lake Comedy Festival. So all of this leading up wasn't you appearing on the show. It was just you being on the show. Now you have to do your appearance on the show.
Okay.
All right,
Sounds
works
good.
for me. We'll be right back in a couple of minutes. Loons on the Lake Comedy Festival, June 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th. Crooners in Fridley with headliners Erica Rhodes, Jamie Kennedy, Jimmy Walker, Don McMillan, of course, Randy Lubas in studio. We'll talk more right after this.
This is the Tom Barnard Morning Show. Listen live at tombernardshow.com or on the Tom Barnard Show app.
You need to know a guy for your auto repairs, legal issues, banking, and more. The same goes for investment advice. You need a guy to help you be successful, someone you can trust who gets results. Well, I got a guy for you, Josh Arnold. Josh gives you straight talk, not sugar-coated advice about your financial situation. Josh has seen it all when it comes to economic and market conditions, and Josh can make sure that your retirement objectives match your investments. Do yourself a favor and call Josh now for a no-obligation, 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll get a different point of view for your investments. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That is 952-925-5608. You'll be glad that you did. And tell him his guy, Tom, sent you.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
The new Tom Barnard Morning Show is proud to have partners like Bradshaw & Bryant, MyPillow, and North American Banking Company founder, chairman, and president, Mike Bilski.
I've advertised on Tom's show for years, and the reason is simple. My business is recognized because of the ads, and that recognition has created growth. What business doesn't want to grow? I highly recommend the Tom Barnard Morning Show for your advertising.
Grow results for your business by partnering with the Tom Barnard Morning Show. Visit tombernardshow.com, keyword partner.
Tom Barnard here. Are you ready for some throttle therapy? Cruise the water in luxury on a brand new Bennington pontoon from Power Lodge. Enjoy sunset from the water, entertain the kids, and float on the lakes all summer long. It all starts at the Lodge, the Twin Cities' newest Bennington dealer, the Power Lodge, with locations in Brainerd, Onamia, Ramsey, and Miller Marine of St. Cloud. Hundreds of pontoons in stock across all Power Lodge locations. Your summer fun begins at Brainerd's newest Bennington dealer, the Power Lodge. Enjoy the best days of summer on your favorite lakes in a brand new Bennington pontoon from the Twin Cities' newest Bennington dealer, the Power Lodge in Ramsey, with locations in Brainerd, Onamia, Ramsey, and Miller Marine in St. Cloud, and hundreds of Benningtons in stock across all locations. The Power Lodge is your destination before you hit the lakes this summer and cruise at sunset. Fun begins at the Lodge, the Twin Cities' newest Bennington dealer, the Power Lodge. Get some throttle therapy on land and water, millermarine.com and powerlodge.com, and you can tell them Tommy sent you. We talked about it already. Randy Lubas in studio got here about an hour ago, but we didn't. He was supposed to appear an hour ago, but we decided just to hang on to him for an hour and then have him appear.
Yeah.
Don't you think it's a good idea?
I know that you're picking up a lot of my slack, but you're not getting my paycheck, if that's what you think, just because you're co-hosting so hard. You're actually talking way more than I've ever talked, or you've given more to the show than I've ever given.
Well, that's a given.
So we're going to go ahead. But we got the special thing going on with the app. If you sign in on our app and it'll pop up, it'll say Loons on the Lake, you can get free tickets.
Yeah. I want to give you tickets to the Wednesday 8:30 show. You're going to see 8 amazing comedians. C. Willie Miles is going to host that show. Then you'll see 8 amazing comedians, and 2 of them will get moved on to the semifinals of the comedy competition with a chance to win $10,000. So if you load that app now, you can get some free tickets, and then you'll get excited. I hope you'll come back and see the semifinals and the finals and fun stuff, because no matter what your week plans, you've got to make it a point at one point to get to that Loons on the Lake Comedy Festival at Crooners in Fridley.
What a perfect date night. I mean, it's nice out. You're going to go see comedians. I love this.
Yeah, and it's right on a lake, and one of the venues is a tent outside. So there's an outside show. So it's going to be, a lot of different ways to have fun.
That's so cool. Yeah. Thanks for doing that.
Is this a picture of your dad?
No, that's an old picture.
I know. I'm looking at it. It's like, look at that. I love that picture. It's a great picture.
Yeah, that's
But you kind of look like very fatherly in that picture, don't you think?
I think I do, yeah.
Yeah, what the hell? It all works. We need comedy, I think, more now than ever. We had already talked about an hour ago about what works, what doesn't with the Pryors and the Don Rickles of the world. Would they work? But it's just, and I told Randy this an hour ago, and I'll tell him again, to have you guys back in studio means everything to me, because the only reason I decided to stay in radio as long as I did with these appearances by comedians specifically. Men, women, didn't matter, as long as you were funny. Not a lot of assholes in comedy, which I really like. There are a couple, but not many.
Well, the one thing that comedians share is that we're reaching out for a hug, and we're willing to subject ourselves to judgment, not only on a day-by-day basis, but on a joke-by-joke basis.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's a neediness that we have, and we need the laughter, we need the approval. And I wanted to mention that Rudy's going to be doing a couple sets in the festival, too.
Oh, good.
Really?
Yeah.
You know the nights?
Yeah, he's going to be on the Jamie Kennedy show.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I'll be doing some time tomorrow night on the early and late show,
Yes.
and then also on the Jamie Kennedy show on Thursday.
Oh, look at you, Rudy.
Yeah.
Big time.
Excellent. Jamie Kennedy's a good guy, too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Very
Jamie's
nice person.
well, during the pandemic, Jamie and I played golf twice a week, every
you
week
really?
during the pandemic, and we had more laughs than you could ever imagine.
Is he good?
No.
No, just say no.
Whoa, I like it.
Neither am I. I mean, neither of us are good, but we had a blast. We
That's
played with
awesome.
another comedian, Derek Cameron, the three of us, and once in a while, Don McMillan would play with us
Okay.
too. Don is practically a scratch golfer.
Oh,
Don
get
is
away
like
from me.
maybe a 2 handicap.
Get away from me.
Yeah, Don is really, really good.
That's not funny and good. That's not fair.
Yeah.
It's not fair. That's all I'm saying. No, maybe we're getting the world back now because we have. Look, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but the big part of that for me is I lost, I believe, 7 friends during the pandemic. The Louis Andersons of the world, Bob Saget, we already talked about, Gilbert Gottfried, we talked about. I lost, I believe, 7 friends in comedy in that 3-year period. It's just terrible.
Oh yeah, and we, I think society was profoundly affected by that year and a half.
I think so.
And it's still adjusting. And I know from the shows I'm doing on cruise ships, people appreciate the fact that they can get out, see live comedy without a mask, and laugh. When that's taken away from you, I say it on the ship. When something you love is taken from you, it is so precious when you get it back.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it really has. It's been fun coming out of this stupid pandemic.
It's been great coming out of it, and it just. And once again, you always, I don't know, I don't spend a whole lot of time on it, but it was just revealed a couple of days ago that more vaccinated people died of COVID than unvaccinated people. Isn't that amazing?
It is.
And I guess it's an absolute fact.
And it wasn't politically correct to talk about the reasons a lot of people died from it because of other unhealthy conditions in their lives.
Oh, I think there's no
Whether
question
they had
about
pre-existing conditions or they were overweight or whatever. It just wasn't popular to talk about that.
Well, it's amazing because I was vaccinated 3 times and boosted once, and then I got COVID twice. The first time I got really sick. I mean, not hospital sick or anything like that. I don't mean to say that at all. But the second time I got it, I was like, whatever. It was maybe it was as bad, but I just didn't care. It's like, we'll get through
I
it.
had 2 vaccinations and a booster, and I've had COVID 3 times.
So there you go. Once again, all the people getting vaccinated are the ones getting COVID and then dying from it too. That's a real thrill.
I never had it bad. It was not bad at all.
Yeah, I didn't have it bad enough to end up in the hospital or anything like that, but I felt like crap for a few weeks there. It was a real thrill, but yeah, I mean, these are the things. This is why I'm trying to tell people now, because there's a little bit of that carryover about, particularly between the political parties. Oh, I hate you, and I hate everything you think, and we need to get the hell away from that and start laughing again.
That's
we
right.
just went through a pandemic. I don't want to hear how you hate the other guy because he's not in your party. It's like, come on, let's enjoy that. You just talked about, look, I just met you for the first time face to face. You teared up while I was talking to you. I will never forget that because you're a real human being that actually gives a rat's ass. We need people to step up and be like that again. Enjoy your life. Be happy. Talk about your childhood. Talk about your parents, your kids, whomever. Get off. Be happy, for Christ's sake. What do you want to be miserable for?
No, this is the only time in my life that I remember people hating each other for political reasons.
Yes.
I don't ever remember that before.
No, and maybe it was there, but it was not as. It's nowhere near as prevalent as it is now. They openly go on international television and talk about how much they hate their opponent.
I know.
Jesus.
Because, especially speaking as a comedian, I want everyone to love me.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm here. The only reason I'm here is for you to love me. That's the only reason I'm here. That's very, very true.
Basis of your career.
I don't care how you vote.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like me.
Yeah, it's true. Democrats and Republicans, they both like comedy, right?
Yeah.
So I don't give a rat's ass what your party is. Just let's have a few laughs and move on with life.
Yep.
But yeah, I think people maybe should not listen to these other people chirping constantly and enjoy the wonderful things. Matter of fact, I get criticized by some people because I talk about my wife so much. I adore my wife and our children, our grandchildren. It means everything to me. That's all he ever does is talk about his wife. Well, I'm sorry you failed miserably at your life, asshole. Why don't you go find somebody to love and shut up? Right? Let's not focus on me being happy. Let's focus on you being a crabby bastard. Right?
It's funny how much you and I have in common because I'm the same way about my wife.
I could kind of tell that.
My wife changed my life. She made me a better man. There's no question about it.
I couldn't agree more. But guys, some guys don't. Not most guys do, but some guys don't like hearing that. I don't know why it is. Do they not want to be happy? Are they just a pain in the ass? What's the problem?
Yeah, I count my blessings.
Yeah, me too. It's very political. You talk about politics. You're very good at that. No, actually, everything is really great. No, I don't know. It does people a lot of good. You've been here now for over an hour. We've had a lot of fun. Show ending in about 1 minute here. But for people to tune in and hear, you and I have never met before.
No.
And I feel like I've known you forever.
That's funny, isn't it?
That's a very, very, because, we have a lot of the same things, like you said. I adore my wife. You adore your wife. You like this. I like that. I mean, it was kind of weird because when you walked in, it's like, no. That's why I thought maybe that's why I thought I knew you.
Maybe.
Or had met you before. You just got that look like, let's be happy and shut the hell up over there. Whatever, right? Okay, again, Loons on the Lake Comedy Festival, June 21st through the 24th, Crooners in Fridley. And Randy's been talking about this. It is a great venue.
Yes.
It is. And the food is spectacular, world class. Everything there is handled with such perfection. You will love it. And it's a great chance to see it for the first time and then go back and see the great music there. There's there all the time.
You're very, you're a drug dealer mode right now. You're saying, we'll give you tomorrow for free. Well, that's just a taste.
That's right.
And you're coming back. Yeah.
That's good,
That's
Brittany.
great. That's a great business model.
Yeah.
Works for me. Randy, you got to come back more often or call in, whatever you can do, man.
Will do.
Those are a really, really pleasure to meet you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for and thank you for supporting the festival. Really, really appreciate it.
Absolutely, no problem.
Great show.